Well, are we near the end of Major League Baseball for a little while, talking about next year, 2027, Diesel? I don't know how much of this, if any, you got to on the show yesterday, as I was out yesterday, but some big news regarding the MLB and the CBA, where in its next CBA, the MLB Diesel is proposing a max contract length of 5 years for free agent players switching teams, 6 years to retain their own players, no deferred contracts, qualifying offer is going to. Also, 5 years to free agency for players 30 or older. And Diesel, I don't know about you, but it feels like the CBA, they're just kind of pulling things out of their hat at this point. And that's why I expect there to be a major disagreement next season, and we'll see if baseball gets played or not.
Well, these are clearly designed to combat the Juan Soto situation. 15 years, $765 million contract. It's clearly designed to combat what the Dodgers are doing. I think those are two things that, the free market says do it. I mean, at least the Juan Soto contracts, free market. Hey, if you're willing to pay him 15 years, almost $800 million, knock yourselves out, Mets. I do think that the no contract deferrals is a perfectly fine caveat. I don't like that teams are finding ways to skirt the system and cheat the system, and that's bad for baseball. But some of these aren't as bad as the CBA and the MLBPA are making them out to be.
And, that's where the disagreement comes in from the CBA and all the different people involved. And, the biggest reason, Diesel, is that this just isn't about contract lengths, right? It's about how baseball divides billions of dollars, and that's a B, but billions of dollars, right? Whenever owners try to limit a player earning power, Diesel, we know where it goes. The Major League Baseball Players Association has historically pushed back very, very hard, which could then cause a holdout. You've got a couple of sticking points that I think could work towards a stoppage if neither side budges. Number one, the salary cap. You mentioned the biggest issue. That's the elephant in the room, right? Owners want a salary cap. Players have opposed the salary cap, right? Maximum contract lengths, deferred money, less guaranteed money, and owners saying they'll make it up elsewhere. I don't know what the future holds in terms of what happens a year from now. I hate to say this, but I think next year, Diesel, the possibility of there being a holdout in baseball not being played for a while is a very, very serious possibility right now.
Just in time for college baseball to get good. See, here's my theory, Cole. My conspiracy brain is already going. We're watching the World Cup, which we'll get into a little bit later on in the show. We're watching our, let's call it, not best athletes go out there and play on the world stage and play really, really well. But guess what? If we stop baseball, maybe it'll point some of those athletes to go play soccer instead and make USA soccer a world power, as it should be. USA. I
don't know how many of those baseball players you want playing soccer. That's the problem. There might be a handful, but I don't know how many of them you want. Let's hear
I'm picturing Vladimir Guerrero out there trying to take a corner kick.
Yeah, let's hear what Jeff Passan said. This was yesterday on the Pat McAfee show. So, again, it's a proposed salary cap. Impact, obviously, on the payrolls and a 50-50 revenue split. Diesel, let's do a little listen and react here in this first segment between Pat and Jeff Passan. And Jeff's one of the most plugged-in MLB insiders with ESPN, for those that don't know. Here's what Jeff said.
Pat, this is a Tuesday in June, no less, and we've got another 5 months until the collective bargaining agreement expires. So this is going to be a story that continues and hopefully, as you said, continues on a positive trajectory. But the reality is Major League Baseball and the MLBPA right now could not be farther apart. And it's not just in terms of money that they couldn't be farther apart. It's the philosophy. It's the fact that Major League Baseball wants wants to completely upend and change the system that has governed the sport since the first collective bargaining agreement between the sides. And the players want to look at it right now and say status quo is working for the game. The game is in a great place. Why would we change things up right now? So it's almost like they're speaking different languages at this point. And here's the thing, the language of MLB at this point, which is put a salary cap in place, is very appealing to a majority of fans out there. And that's what the Players Association is fighting against. It's against the narrative that salary caps are necessary to have competitive balance in baseball. And look, you look at the standings right now, and I understand we're in early June. You see teams that spend a lot of money at the top, like the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees. You see teams that don't spend a lot of money at the top, like the Milwaukee Brewers and the Tampa Bay Rays and the Cleveland Guardians. You look at the bottom and you see teams that aren't spending a whole lot of money, but then you see the Mets down there, and you see the Red Sox and the Giants and the Astros. And the argument from the players is that competitive balance already exists. Why would we change things? Whereas Major League Baseball says that for the future of the game, this is a necessity.
Yeah. So we'll get back to that audio. But Jeff Passan, really interesting stuff. Let's react to that. Does it sound like Diesel from what you hear and what I hear as well, and what the Tolos just heard in that audio, that the MLB and the fans might be on the same side of this? The MLB and the fans might think, yes, we need a salary cap. To Jeff Passan's point.
On its surface, to me, it seems like, yeah, if every team is spending roughly the same amount, or they all have a cap that they can't go over, then, it should increase parity between the teams. That it seems on its surface like a good thing, and it feels like that the narrative will continue to push that players are greedy, and they are greedy to the point that it's going to hurt the game going forward.
And that's also the problem.
I also know that ownership is cheap. Ownership doesn't want to spend the kind of money. You know, we just saw the move or the proposal last week, a couple days ago, that said we don't want to pay our 18-year-old, 19-year-old guys that are coming into the league, so we're going to go force you to play college baseball instead. That way we can take that expense off our books.
Yeah, but that's the huge issue here, right? Like this sport, Diesel, that in my opinion, in the last couple of years has done way better with like ratings and pitch clock a couple of years ago, and the ABS, automatic ball, the challenge system. The sport's improved drastically, in my opinion. And now you look at this and think, because the players want this, and the MLB and the owners want this, and us fans, our opinion, that at the end of the day don't matter, right?
True.
Unfortunately. But it is a sad reality, in my opinion, because this sport could be amazing when you talk about competitive balance. But to Jeff Passan's point, just go look at the standings every year. Not saying that there's not like teams that lose and there's not good baseball, but the standings speak for themselves. And if the fans' voice doesn't matter, if the owner's voice doesn't matter, where are we at? I mean, it's the players that have all the control in the MLB, and we're going to not have baseball next year because of the players. I love the salary cap idea. To your point, I think we need it. We need it. But I don't want to see the Dodgers signing, a different player every single offseason. But I just don't know, where is this going to budge? Where, as Jeff Passan said, these two are so dramatically apart right now, it's not even funny.
Well, you listed off all the changes that Rob Manfred has pushed down the pipe the last couple of years, and I would argue that every single one of them has been met with a tremendous amount of pushback from the fans. Oh, we don't want ghost runners. Oh, we don't want pitch clocks. Oh, we don't want this. Oh, and they've all turned out to be net positives for the game. And that's on the competition side of things. And players, they can get used to it, right? Fans have gotten used to it. They've changed their minds on it really quickly. It's really hard to get somebody who's on a massive contract making tons and tons and tons of money to say, you know what, I'm willing to give up a huge chunk of money and, my grandkids' futures to make your game a healthier thing when we already believe it to be healthy.
And the players, that's right. The players believe it to be healthy, right? So like the first point, the first proposal, Diesel and Tolos in this deal is the max contracts. There's no limit right now. A player can sign 10, 12, 13, 15. Juan Soto's on a 15-year deal.
$765 million.
And Shohei signed a 10-year deal. Fernando Tatis Jr., I think, was 14, somewhere in there. So
Trout's deal was enormous.
Yeah. So if you leave your team, you've got a maximum of 5 years. If you stay, maximum 6 years, and that's massive. And owners, Diesel and Tolo's out there, they want this because, look, if a player signs at 30 today, 15-year contract, you're paying that player till they're 45 years old.
And they're not going to be playing the game that
No. Shohei Ohtani's going to make all his money when he's done playing. And owners think, hey, we're paying for the seasons 39 through 45 that almost have no value, which from a business standpoint, that makes total sense to me. Instead, 5 years done at 35, huge savings, right? So fans liking it, hating it, I unfortunately think it doesn't matter. I think fans, I don't want to speak for all of them, I think they want the shorter contracts because they want to be able to pay more players later on down the road. And then the deferred contracts, that's aimed at who? One person, Shohei Ohtani, right? So that proposal of no deferred contracts, his deal, you said 10 years, $700 million. I believe 680 of that 700 is deferred. So he's not making a lot of money.
Yeah, most people don't realize that Shohei Ohtani is currently living in a one-bedroom apartment with a subletter on his couch.
Right.
He's got to make ends meet somehow.
Right, right. Owners hate this, though. They hate it, and the proposal would eliminate deferred contracts entirely. So that's the contract aspect of it.
I would say this, Cole. If the owners hate it, stop paying the contracts. Let them go.
Yeah.
Let them walk. Let another ownership group pay for it. Like if you're the
Mets, there's only a few that will.
Right. If you're the Mets and you really, really hate the Juan Soto contract before you signed this 15-year, $765 million deal, let them walk. Let them go somewhere else. Let some other sucker pay that and use that money to do the Moneyball thing, to get 5 guys or 3 guys or whatever it may be that can give you the same production.
Yeah, and owners, from what I've read, think now's the time because owners believe baseball, Diesel, has reached a breaking point from a financial perspective. When you talk about Shohei Ohtani's deal at $700 million, Juan Soto had the record-setting mega contract, right? And they're worried about what we're worried about in the college game with NIL. Is what? It's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's never going to stop, right? So they also believe the owners also believe fans are frustrated, Diesel, when only, and I think this is true, when only a handful of clubs in America can realistically bid on a superstar, right? So Shohei Ohtani's with the Dodgers right now. There are realistically 1, maybe 2 organizations that can afford
Dodgers and Yankees.
Yeah,
let's be real. Dodgers and Yankees.
Yeah, and that's it. So when I say I think fans are on the side of the owners here, I imagine they are. Again, I'm not speaking for everybody, but the union won't cave easily because the MLBPA is one of the strongest unions in professional sports. So I think you're going to, my prediction, unless something drastic changes, Diesel, I think you're going to see a lockout. The current collective bargaining agreement expires after this season. It's done. It's expired. So if the two sides can't agree on a new one, the owners could lock the players out, delaying spring training. We've seen that before, especially in the NBA, or even the regular season until a deal is reached. And I think many people around the sport believe the salary cap proposal, not the 5-year contract limit, is the issue most likely to trigger that prolonged labor fight that could cause us to have a lockout. And if the salary cap demand, if they remain central, Diesel, you're going to have a real risk of another lockout in 2027.
Think about what's going to happen. And I guess this is what the ownership is banking on. They're saying, hey, look at 1994. That wasn't that long ago. Remember what happened in 94 when fans protested? The players were getting booed. Fans were wearing shirts calling players greedy. They were throwing dollar bills at players to mock people with the obsession with money. I mean, that was what was happening in 94. And as much as fan sentiment is high now, think about, what smart guy came up with every action has an equal and opposite reaction. As the money gets so big now and fans are so positive on the game right now, their negative reaction the other direction, Colt, is going to be even more visceral.
Oh yeah, it should be
And
though, right?
If the ownership, now this would be a great con, right? If they could somehow figure out a way to get the fans to agree with the billionaires against the millionaires, then you're on to something.
Yeah.
Because you could turn the fan sentiment against these players, and the owners could say, they could stand there with their pockets out empty and say, hey, look at these greedy players. They're killing the game and they won't let us get this thing back to a reasonable state. And that's taking your favorite thing away. That would be that would be my tactic if I was an ownership group here.
No, I'm with you. And you know why this is different, real quick, before we get back to the audio, Diesel, from Jeff Passett on the Pat McAfee show. The reason this is different is this. The 2021 lockout, I believe, 2021, 2022 lockout, it did push the season back about a week or two. I don't think there were any games really missed. I think they all got them in. And you're talking about tweaking the economic system then of Major League Baseball. However, this now you're looking at a much larger scale. Potentially, you're changing the entire economic system of the sport. So the 2021 lockout compared to this, in my opinion, is just not even close on the same magnitude. More from Jeff Passett. Let's listen and react.
Because I keep hearing about 94. I'm like, that's a long time ago. Is that how long?
You're hearing about 94, Pat, because that was the last time that owners proposed a salary cap. And the fallout from that salary cap proposal was in August. The players went on strike. The World Series was lost that year. They wound up at a place where judges had to get involved. Sonia Sotomayor, who's a Supreme Court justice now, actually was the judge who put Major League Baseball back on the field after the 1994 strike. And, Major League Baseball, I would say it learned its lesson, but I don't know if that's an accurate way of putting it. I think more so it understands that when it throws salary cap out there, those are the two dirtiest words to baseball players. Baseball players, when they were building the MLBPA through the 60s and into the 70s and getting free agency into sports for the first time, they have held that up as a paragon of what the union can and should be. We should have unfettered free agency, and the market should determine what players are worth. And inherently, a salary cap system takes away from that. When Juan Soto's making $60 million a year and Kyle Tucker's making $60 million a year, and all of a sudden that's a quarter of the potential payroll that you have, it drastically changes things. So even though the floor that MLB is proposing is high and does bring up some of those lower spendings and certainly shrinks the gap between the top and the bottom, the consequences of that are what players are not going to be on board with. And the argument at this point is getting very semantic, Pat. Major League Baseball says that major league players are going to be paid more in 2027 than they are this year under the proposal. And that sounds good, right? But if you look at the mechanics of the proposal itself right now, major league players have been getting paid more each of the last 5 seasons under this collective bargaining agreement, just naturally, just by the way that the market is moving. So when players see that the inherent mechanics of the market are likely to make the spend even higher and to make our salaries go up, they're asking the question, so what exactly are we getting here from limiting our ability to earn?
Interesting.
Wow. A lot to unpack.
Yeah.
And I like that, what he said at the beginning, the two most, did he say feared words?
Yeah, two most hated words.
Salary cap
in
baseball. And he's right. Unfortunately, the sport, like we talked about at the beginning of the segment, is like in a good spot, but there's going to have to be decisions made, Diesel.
Maybe the answer is sort of a hybrid system. The NFL has their hard salary cap. The NBA, you can go over it and you can pay a tax, and you maybe that's the answer, is going more towards the NBA model where there's a salary cap, but there's ways to get around it, right? There's ways to skirt the issue. That might be, ultimately what they end up going with, it's like buying something on Facebook Marketplace. You lowball the guy hoping that they respond. And if they give you most of what you want, great. If not, you meet in the middle and everybody's happy.
It is interesting. I don't know what to expect between the end of the 2026 season. I'd imagine those talks get underway pretty quickly, from the end of the season to whenever spring training is, March, I believe, for Major League Baseball. But the current one, the current CBA is done, expired after this year. So we're in for a wild off season when it comes to Major League Baseball.
A little side note here, Cole, for those of you who like to throw a little investment down on games, the MLB Players Association has also proposed a ban on prop betting to help combat harassment from disgruntled gamblers, both with sports books and daily fantasy operators. The ban would include all prop bets on individual players placed before or during a game. So no over-under on Shohei Ohtani's home runs, no over-under on strikeouts, none of that kind of stuff, because, we've talked about it lots of times. Fans get really upset when their bet doesn't hit, and they're taking it out on the players, and the players have had enough.
Yeah, and they're Venmo requesting Shohei Ohtani or his agent, right? It was his agent, not Shohei. But this is something to keep an eye on. This is really interesting.
Cole, last night, Team USA had a chance to enter the knockout stage, a perfect 3-0, and today they've got a big gold necklace with an L on it hanging around their necks. But is this actually a big deal? Mountain or molehill? Team USA taking the big fat L last night against Turkey.
Upstate.
Well, call the good, the bad, and the ugly on last night's 3-2 USA loss against Turkey at SoFi Stadium.
God, you're talking like one of them
Angeles.
now.
What do you mean?
Talking like a
It's not
resident.
turkey. This is not Thanksgiving, okay?
It's
It's
is
not
turkey to us.
Turkey
We
to
say
us.
turkey.
Yeah, okay.
They don't say turkey.
Turkey. Goodness gracious.
You're acting like you're a resident over there.
Yeah, I'm a
You've
footy,
already-
I'm
you've
a
already-
footy expert.
You've already turned on us. Ah.
I mean, if you watch the beginning part of the game, the vibes were incredible, right? I mean, when the game was getting started and for the first couple of minutes, hearing that USA chant, like It was magical. It was electric to see that crowd into it. You saw people dressed in like the colonial blue Army uniforms. It was great. Scored in the first 3 minutes. Awesome. We're going to blow them out like 4-0. This thing is going to be easy. And then, boom, they score just a couple of minutes later. And, oh, crap, we're in a dogfight against a team that has nothing to lose. So, mountain or molehill, though, Cole, us losing that game against Turkey.
Well, from what I've heard from the people, the soccer experts out there, it doesn't seem like it was a big deal because, like we talked about, the game really didn't mean anything. Now, you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose confidence. You don't want to lose momentum for sure. But I think you just regroup, and I know you can't forget about a World Cup game. Yeah, the magnitude of it, but you just got to put it behind you. I mean, it's one game, and if it doesn't impact your seeding and where you are, I mean, forget about it. Let's go.
This is like if you put your backup quarterback in the last week of the college football season, you're already locked into your conference championship game, or you're already locked to get into the college football playoff. If you take an L at the end of the season, it's a little bit of a black eye. It
happens in the NFL all the time too.
Happens in the NFL, right? You sit your starters to keep them healthy, but ultimately it doesn't cost you that much. I will say, Cole, though, I think it sort of busts that bubble of American invincibility in this tournament, which, let's be real, I mean, that was a self-inflated bubble of our own doing, creating this idea in our brains that no matter what, no matter who we throw out there, we're going to beat Turkey easily and walk away with this thing. We subbed out 9 of our 11 starters in that game, including the goalie. And that just proves right there, Cole, that you cannot, under any circumstances, for any reason whatsoever, let Matt Turner back into a World Cup game, because that guy was hot garbage.
Well, I was going to say, kind of to your point a minute ago, if any fans out there, and look, I'm not blaming fans for getting amped up or excited, because that's what fans do.
Yeah.
But if any fans really believed that we were just going to run the table, I think that's probably a you problem, because we talked about it before the World Cup started. You said it, Team USA wasn't expected to go be the favorite. We even looked at the Vegas odds. They weren't the favorite. They're still not the favorite. So it's not really that big of a surprise. I know that a couple of days ago when you and I were talking about it, we did kind of think that Team USA would handle Turkey, and obviously they didn't. But at the end of the day, what is the team? What is the ceiling of this team? Well, they lost to Turkey, so do you feel any different about the team than you did when they started 2-0? Maybe a little bit.
Well, Turkey had been bad in this tournament so far, right? They were 0-2 in this tournament. They hadn't scored a goal yet in this tournament. But if you look back historically, USA versus Turkey in international competition, we're 2-1 with them. Yeah. 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. So, I don't think it's even though Turkey is a smaller country, and, we may look at them and say, oh, they're probably not that good. They are good. They're essentially at the same level that Team USA is with their size. Team USA, though, Cole, there are some superlatives to be able to throw out about this. Just the 5th team ever in the World Cup to score in the first 4 minutes of both the first and second half of a World Cup match. Just 5th ever.
That's
no
crazy.
Team has scored more in the first 15 minutes of the first half this entire tournament. So Team USA gets out early. They score early. They put pressure on teams. If only we weren't starting our backup goalie, Matt Turner, we might have shut him out.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we talked about too is, what's the personnel look like? I mean, what do you do in that kind of situation? By the way, for those curious, live in Boston, France leads Norway 2-1. And this game hadn't been going on long, Diesel, 25 minutes. There's a lot of scoring already.
Have we checked on the wine stores in Boston, the greater Boston area? Do they have enough?
I don't know if they have enough wine or ranch. The ranch dressing has seemed to be I think they had one of the airlines had to put a hold on ranch, not allowing.
How have we not exported this to the world yet?
I don't know.
I mean, this is one of the things. It's Waffle House, Buc-ee's ranch dressing that the world is freaking out about. Oh my God, this is we've already exported everything else.
Well, I didn't even know.
Why not ranch?
I didn't even know ranch was a wee thing. I just assumed that everybody had ranch.
Hidden Valley Ranch. Hidden Valley is here.
See, Hidden Valley's the worst ranch.
What do you mean?
Ugh,
whoa,
it's nasty.
Tolo's best ranch. Go text line.
Best ranch is homemade ranch. Homemade ranch is the best.
Well, that's entirely subjective.
Well, it is
because
It is.
everybody's homemade ranch is different from everyone else's homemade ranch.
I'll tell you what, one of my favorite ranch dressings is right across the street. I think Wingstop has, not a sponsor, but I think they've got top tier ranch. I think restaurants that make it there, it's just so much better than that thick Hidden Valley stuff. I don't know if it's just because I ate Hidden Valley so much growing up, but I love ranch. I just like the homemade, the good ranch.
Dan says homemade Hidden Valley packet.
Yeah, I've used that.
Which is just Hidden Valley. What are we doing? What are we talking about?
No, it's different. It's totally different.
No, it isn't.
Yeah,
it's the same
it's
thing.
A different. No, it's a different texture. You get it out of the bottle. It's thick and it almost has like a.
You mean it's the wrong texture?
Yeah, I like my ranch a little more
runny.
Not runny, but a little more liquidy than it being, that thick Hidden Valley ranch, man. That stuff. I don't know what the big deal is about that. You like it?
I love Hidden Valley Ranch. My wife, we try to save a little money around the house. Sometimes she'll buy the store brand ranch, and it's just not the same. It's just not the same.
And
I love OG original A1 sauce. There's a bunch of other places that try to make an A1 sauce clone. It's not the same. It is not the same.
Yeah, it's very subjective.
There's like three things that I don't skimp on. I don't skimp on bacon. I don't skimp on A1 sauce, and I don't skimp on toilet paper.
Yeah. And ranch is somewhere in there, top 4, top 5, right?
For some people, not for me. It's not like my number one.
I love it.
But I only buy name brand ranch.
Yeah. I tried to make some a couple of weeks ago, and it wasn't as good as I had hoped for. But homemade ranch, I think, is top tier. I don't know. I think I used to like Hidden Valley, but anyways, the ranch right now in the soccer World Cup phase, it's like unbelievable. There was one guy I saw an interview. I think I might have the audio. He was just unbelievable, dumbfounded about this ranch. And I don't know where he was from, but I mean, it's crazy to hear how enthralled they are with ranch dressing.
Well, I mean, you've flown more recently than I have. The 6-ounce liquid thing, is that still in effect?
Yeah, I think it's pretty close to 6 ounces.
If you can only get on a plane with 6 ounces of ranch, take that back to your homeland.
What are you going to do with 6 ounces,
Try to reverse engineer. That'd be one meal for some people, right?
It would.
One salad.
By the way, I'm sorry
to
get you diverted on this ranch conversation. I did find the audio real quick since we're on the ranch topic of conversation, right? The real important food conversations that we have. I'm getting the audio here for us because this is audio gold. I know we have audio blitz coming up later in the show, and we'll include that we'll include this piece of audio in the audio blitz. But there was a reporter who was just randomly interviewing people from other countries, and the ranch got brought up here, as you can hear in the audio, in about 3, 2, 1.
What do you think you'll take away from your visit here in the United States, back to Germany?
Ranch. I love ranch. I tasted here. It's delicious. And I take 2 bottles with home with you.
What do you think?
Oh, wait till they discover Duke's mayonnaise. Then it's going to be over.
I mean, that is so good,
I'd
man.
take ranch.
Ranch. Let's go.
Do they sell ranch at the duty-free store?
I don't know.
God.
Audio gold.
Percy says Outback makes avocado ranch dressing. Corn Chip says I would have been okay with a draw. He also says it wouldn't have been a big deal if they didn't crap the bed in the last minute. That is very true, Cole. And again, look, these guys aren't going to play going forward. This is the B squad, right? The B squad came out. They wanted to keep everybody healthy.
JV.
They were able to get Christian Pulisic back into the game. They got him 30 minutes on the field, so they kind of got his legs back under him, proved that his injury wasn't going to be a big deal moving forward. But that lapse right there at the very end of the game, if you watch that 98th minute of the game, Cole, the Turkish attacker, I guess, he's trying to score from the left wing. The goalie comes out to block it, and he does. He actually gets just a little bit of a shin on it. His left shin got on the ball, but that obviously puts the ball right there on the foot of a Turkey player, and he was able to put it in for an easy win. That is a big lapse right there, and it's not so much on the goalie for the lapse, it's the lapse on all of the defenders who apparently were looking around for a penalty. You know, one of the guys was not covering his man, and he was kind of looking around like, hey, am I going to get a penalty on this? That's a problem, Cole. You cannot have those lapses in focus, even if you're just a backup, even if you're not going to get into the games in the next round. Yeah. You can't have that happen, these lapses in focus.
But you know what, though? I look, I'm not like the soccer expert. If there would have been the same starting guys out there last night as there were the first 2 games, we're probably not having this conversation. Probably not. You know, the inexperience you're talking about, that has, it's a huge stage, by
Yeah.
the way. You talk about lapses, like it's a huge stage.
It was McKenzie, by the way.
McKenzie let us down?
Yeah, he's the one that let us down. He's waving at the referee saying, I got fouled. I got
What
fouled.
was that, like right there in the
Right there at the
90?
end.
I'm
98th
watching
minute.
the highlights now. Oh, 98th minute. Okay, so they added time. They added 7 minutes.
Mhm.
Is that subjective?
It is. That's the weird thing. We were just talking with Stoneman a minute ago,
Yeah.
15 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago when he was in here. And I was like, that's the one thing I can't really understand with soccer. Everything is subjective. It's
weird.
like, I just feel like adding 4 minutes or 5 minutes or 7 minutes. And I feel like calling that a penalty, but not that a penalty, when to the layperson, it looks like the exact same tackle was just made.
McKenzie was the goalie or no?
No, McKenzie was the defender there.
I'm watching the highlights. The goalie, what was he doing? I mean, what was he doing?
Like I said, he came out to block the first shot.
And
And
then he
it went
just
off of
left
his shin and it deflected.
Yeah.
If the ball goes straight at him, it's a save, and that's it. But the shooter
Now,
did a good job putting it right there on the edge of his shin, and that allowed the deflection in.
I don't know this because I'm not a soccer guy. When would the time have been over? Yeah. When would it have been over? Do you know?
It ends at the end of the
Added time?
8th minute. Yeah. So
So almost
essentially,
over.
you get almost 9 minutes.
So they
because
had
you
like
get the
2
full 8
minutes left. They had a minute or two left.
It was in
Team
the,
USA did.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how much time they added at the end of that game, but
Yeah.
it was right. It was right there at the tail end.
Man, that's tough. I'm watching the replay now. It did. It just weird bounce off the guy's shin, and the Turkey guy. I mean, he was just the right place, right time.
And we
Give him credit, but
we didn't have a defender there to get in the way of it and to push it back out. So I think that was
what are we
just,
doing?
yeah, it was a lapse there.
Listen to me critiquing soccer players like I watch soccer.
But, I mean, like, hey, there were some good there, right?
Was this at 1 a.m. by the way?
Is that when it finished?
Yeah. I mean, do you know?
I have no idea.
It didn't start till what?
A little bit after 10.
10?
Yeah.
2 hours ish. You think?
Yeah.
Something like that. So it was after midnight, probably.
So our starters got some rest. That's good. The yellow cards got wiped away. Nobody got another one. Got suspended for another game. That's good. Your backups, who again you hope you don't have to use again in the future, they got a little bit of experience. That's good. But they also showed you that they're not up to snuff. They're not ready to do this.
They're not any good.
Christian Pulisic came out. He got 30 minutes of play. Again, the injury, a non-factor. Came out hot and fast. That's good. They were able to score in multiple ways. That's good. And the crowd was phenomenal. Those are all the best takeaways to take away from the team. The problem is they had lots of little mistakes and opportunities to score, put the game away, and they didn't do it.
Let me ask you this. That game last night, was that in that went in Boston, was it?
LA.
LA?
SoFi.
That's why it was so late starting.
Yeah. Well, it's prime time for the West Coast fans, but when has anybody ever done that except when you're talking about Pac-12 after dark?
Yeah.
Nobody does prime time on the West Coast.
Yeah, I'm sitting here watching again. I mean, I'm watching the highlights for probably the second time today. It's unfortunate, but again, it's a learning lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Learn from it, and Turkey gets their big celebration. And you're right, the crowd was huge, like a ginormous crowd in LA. I mean, not being a soccer guy whatsoever, and have willingly admitting to you, Diesel, I've never been to a soccer game, like a professional soccer game. That looks like a lot of fun. It really does. If I had your money, I could be there.
Michael DeSorsi of the Sporting News said that if McKenzie sees the field Wednesday in Santa Clara when we play again, quote, something will have gone terribly wrong. You cannot put that guy back on the court.
That's ruthless.
Yeah, on the field. That is ruthless there. He also said, and this is what you need to take away from this game. He said the importance of momentum in situations like this is overstated. He pointed back to 2002 when the U.S. men's team reached the quarterfinals. They had been embarrassed in their final group game against Poland. So it happens. Point is, it happens.
Now we've got to wait
on point every game.
No, you can't be. You can't win them all, right? Can't win them all. We've got to wait a little while.
So Wednesday. It's actually a pretty short,
That's not bad.
I'm bad with days here. From Thursday to Friday,
Almost
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 6 days. 6 days to wait. Good amount of rest. Again, most of your starters got rest, so should be okay. Head coach Mauricio Pochettino said, quote, I don't understand momentum. Germany lost the momentum too. Too many topics in soccer that I don't understand. The objective was to finish first, and we are first.
I get it. You know, and momentum, sometimes it's real, sometimes it's not. Texter from the 770 Diesel says, right about midnight, caught the first half and until we tied the game and then went off. Oh, this is from Corn Chip. He says, right about midnight, caught the first half and until we tied the game and then went off and came back just after Turkey scored the game-winning goal. So it was just after midnight when it ended. Texter says, have a good weekend, ready for college football. Texter, hope you have a good weekend as well.
Okay.
Have you had avocado ranch dressing, back to Percy's text? Have you had that?
Probably.
Chick-fil-A has really good
Probably, yeah.
ranch dressing.
I'm sure I have.
I'm a big fan of it.
I get salads from Chick-fil-A sometimes.
Yeah.
I try to be a little healthier.
They're elite.
Sometimes.
They're elite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is, and Pochettino's right, for the players, momentum doesn't matter. But
No.
I think for the fans, for the lay fans, somebody like you, Cole, that's a lay fan of this, you'd be more apt to get into it and stay into it if the USA just kept winning.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And you hear like, Team USA lost, we might not be that good. Might
Not
not
gonna
tune in.
watch.
Yeah, not going to watch. Now we're obviously going into the knockout phase where every game is a must win.
And
you can't,
I do
you
have
can't do
interest
this again.
Yeah, I have interest. So if we lose Wednesday, we're done.
Correct.
Oh, boy.
That would suck.
And we're playing
Bosnia Herzegovina.
I'll tell you what, we better be ready. I know a lot about them. They're
Yeah,
good
the
at soccer.
Bosnians are tough.
I'm kidding. I don't know anything about them. Diesel, not a good look, though, for Argentina. What? No, not the – I think they had an earthquake, too, just recently, like in the last couple of days.
Are we going to send Ranch to help out?
Maybe. I don't know, though, that this story, bad news, kind of soccer-related, sports-related out of Argentina. This is kind of wild. We'll talk about it next. What do you think about this, Diesel? Tolos, weird story here. The Argentine soccer system that produced the defending World Cup champions is also rife with child exploitation and neglect, according to an ESPN investigation released on Friday. ESPN has been digging into this thing, Diesel, if you have not heard.
Whoa.
They spent years investigating the pipeline that feeds professional soccer in Argentina, reviewing thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of documents, conducting more than 100 interviews, visiting the countries, the dorm, wherever these young prospects live, their dorm, they visit them. And this investigation, Diesel, has been going on since 2018. One of the nation's premier clubs disclosed that half a dozen men had sexually assaulted some of the children living in the pension, and ESPN's findings include thousands, listen, it gets worse, thousands of children migrate hundreds of miles from home to Buenos Aires to train with professional clubs with the hope that one day signing the prospects. As prospects are unpaid by their teams and either live in pensions run by the club, I think, is that how you say pensions? Or they're left to find housing on their own. Just a terrible, terrible situation out of the country of Argentina here.
So poor kids leave their hometown, go to the big city, and then essentially coaches, scouts, whoever they may be, are abusing them.
And the conditions, too. The conditions are horrible. And my whole thing is like, this is feeding the pipeline of their professional soccer team.
Yeah, and I mean, think how these scumbags are pressuring these kids. Oh, if you want to get ahead, if you want to stand out on this team, you're going to do this or you're going to do that. Oh, that's awful.
Hunger too, terrible living conditions, just all kind of stuff. There is a film on these findings called The Dream Factory. And that's just talk about a weird name.
That sounds creepy.
It does. It does.
Gracious.
So Argentina, I mean, if things just hadn't gone wrong for that country lately, it just the soccer program.
Should somebody hand Lionel Messi a doll and say point on the doll to where they touched you?
That's tough. I mean, that's just terrible. And the thing about it is, this was a very successul club. Again, won the World Cup. What, 2018? Is that right? Something like that.
Yeah, it's obviously without the child exploitation, the system is doing what the system is supposed to do. It brings the best players from all over the country, gets them in one location, trains them up, and then helps funnel them to the clubs and training that they need to get better. And those other ones, they just go back home.
Sad.
It is. God, that is
terrible.
Tragic.
Sad. Let's do a live check-in, a live audio check-in on the Group 1 game, FIFA World Cup. Diesel, France. We're getting to about, the halfway point of this game?
Group I.
Oh, I'm sorry, Group I.
Yeah, so they're in the last minute, the literal last minute of the first half. 3-1 France over Norway.
So the first half almost over. Here you go, a little check-in for you.
So they haven't played a match probably in at least 3 weeks. You're going to see some really tired legs as this game goes on with the amount of defending they've had to do.
France off to a good start, by the way. Yeah. Did somebody tell us that France was a favorite?
They are expected to be a favorite in this, yeah.
And it looks like they're kind of playing keep away right now, which is the part of soccer that I don't like. And I get it's almost the end of the half, so you're just wanting the time. Now, look, what's that mean? +5. Does that mean they're going to play 5 more minutes?
5 additional minutes, right. Halftime would be 45 minutes if they didn't add additional time.
Gotcha.
So now they'll go to the 50-minute mark.
But one of the officials decided, hey, we got to add 5 minutes.
Correct. France and Norway are tied right now in this group. Both have won 2 games. Neither one has lost a game. So this is another one of those games where it really doesn't matter who wins. Both of these teams are going to advance.
They're both advancing.
But it will be essentially for seeding.
Gotcha. And again, this one's in Boston. Look at that crowd. I mean, Patriots, the New England Patriots, they of course have huge crowds, but these crowds are unmatched.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. So there you go.
That's halftime.
Halftime in Boston. And let's see, how many games do we have total today? I know there were 6 on Wednesday, 6 yesterday, and I don't know if that's continuing. I'm pulling it up now.
6 games
6
today.
more today?
Yeah, Norway, France, Senegal, Iraq. That game is on right now. Neither one of these games is advancing. They're playing that one in Toronto.
Okay.
So they're just playing for pride at this point.
So none of these games today, mean anything?
Well, it depends. I'd have to look.
I'd
have to look at all the standings
and
see.
I got you.
Spain at 1-1-0. They obviously they need to win. Depends on where they are in their group, though. Egypt, Iran play at 11 o'clock tonight. New Zealand, Belgium play at 11 o'clock tonight. The Egypt Iran game is being played in Seattle. The New Zealand Belgium game is being played in Vancouver.
How about that?
So
I mean, up in near Canada,
without surface level, it's hard to tell what the standings are in their individual groups. But
so if they finish at the bottom of their groups, they're eliminated, right?
Correct. Fourth place is automatically out.
I got you. Then you have the single elimination knockouts. That starts Sunday. Through July 19th, that's where it gets fun.
Correct.
Like you lose and you're done. Round of 32.
First round of 32 game is Sunday. USA plays on Wednesday.
So, like, if any of this World Cup stuff is confusing to anybody out there, because it is to me at first, because you have all these different pools, it becomes, and correct me if I'm wrong here, it becomes real simple on Sunday. You've got 32 teams. It's a bracket, just like March Madness.
There you go.
You win, you advance, you lose, you're done.
Correct.
Pretty simple.
Correct.
All right, let's see if Team USA can get a little momentum. We have to wait till Wednesday, so a few more days until we play again, but I will, now that it matters, like it's single elimination, I'll obviously be a little bit more tuned in.
Cole, the brand new piece that the Charlotte Hornets added in the trade that sent LaMelo Ball to Minnesota is already fielding phone calls, and his agent, at least, to maybe move him and get him out of there. Should the Hornets do everything they possibly can to hang on to Naz Reid? We'll get into that situation and just get your thoughts in general on the LaMelo Ball trade to the Minnesota Timberwolves and a little draft grade as well from SB Nation next. You know, Naz Reid, Cole, is not the most prolific scoring big man in the NBA. Just a shade under 14 points a game, 6 rebounds a game last year. Good field goal percent shooting player, but he's not going to go out there and give you 25 points a night. That's just not who he is.
Yeah.
So a lot of Charlotte Hornets fans, and we're going to have some audio coming up a little bit later on in the show of a hilarious Charlotte Hornets fan right outside of Spectrum Center in Charlotte, very upset about this trade. I think you could say you've made a pretty good trade when immediately after acquiring a player, your team is fielding phone calls from other teams saying, hey, is that guy available? Like, would you be willing to move him to us? Naz Reid, 26-year-old center from LSU, 6'9", 264 pounds, could be the answer that Charlotte's looking for at its big man if they're willing to hang on to him and not try to build up a ton more picks.
And you also get a 2033, because that's in the near future, unprotected first-round pick. You know, the Hornets, Diesel, this is interesting. And I saw this, was it yesterday when this happened officially?
It was.
And I wasn't here. The Hornets,
5 a.m. yesterday morning is when this trade got finalized.
The Hornets fielded aggressive offers in recent days. And I think you and I talked about this on Wednesday, that there were teams pursuing LaMelo, and that's good. The Timberwolves were a team. The Raptors were a team. The Trailblazers were a team who were going after the point guard. Hey, newsflash, it's good to have teams interested in your point guard. That means he's good. However, I don't know how much I love the trade. Look, I know what kind of player LaMelo was in the system, and I think the team's success last year, when you look at the success that Brandon Miller and Con Knipple had, I think a lot of that success was due to LaMelo Ball and the facilitator that he was. This is no disrespect toward Naz Reid whatsoever, because I've seen Naz play. Minnesota's been a good team. However, you look at what LaMelo was able to do from a guard standpoint, where the ball, where it all starts on offense, it all starts with that guard position. I don't love it. If I'm a Hornets fan, you're right, though. You acquired a good player, and when other teams are now wanting that player, like, that's a good thing, too. It's just, how is he going to fit into this system with Charles Lee? He averaged 13.6 points. He's only 26 years old, so he's still young, and he's a 37% three-point shooter. Sixth man of the year in 2024. So he's a good player. And to play at that level in the NBA, like, not many people can do that. So no disrespect toward Naz whatsoever, but I just don't know how in love with it I am.
Well, as a player, I hope they can hold on to Naz Reid, because, number one, we already knew that they had some issues at the center position. We knew that they needed to get bigger. What I like about Naz Reid, again, like I said, he's not a 25-point-a-night kind of guy. And show me a center in the NBA that's his size, that's not Victor Wembanyama. Show me a center in the league that is giving you 25 points a night. They are rare in this day and age. This is in the era of Shaq, right? Whereas dump it down to Shaq, let him bully and dunk the basketball. Because I like him because he's a guy that can occasionally hit the three. He made 162 of them last year, by the way. In fact, he's made 162 or more the last 3 seasons. So you got a 6'9" center that can get out and hit the three.
Yeah.
78 blocks last season, the most in his career. 73% free throw shooter. He can get up the court, up and down the court really well. He actually had a beautiful poster dunk on Charlotte this past season, where he caught an alley-oop and 360 dunked the basketball. I know that theatrics isn't really, the end-all be-all, Cole, but I think he's an exciting basketball player. And while Charlotte Hornet fans are thinking we're in win-now territory with LaMelo, I don't think that they were. I think LaMelo Ball and his very freewheeling style of playing basketball isn't necessarily the best thing for this team going forward with the coach, with the system that they had in place. I'm not necessarily sure that LaMelo and Charles Lee were going to vibe going forward. And what I love about it is it ushers in the era of Brandon Miller as your point guard.
Yeah, I think two sides from the Minnesota standpoint. You look at LaMelo now with Anthony Edwards. I think that's a great pairing, has the potential to be. You also have a young Jaden McDaniels, who maybe is one of the top 5 players at his position. All 3 are under contract for a while. My thing on this trade, a couple of things when it comes to what this trade does to the future of the franchise. The Hornets were 11-23 on January 2nd. We talked about it. They were not a good team. The new year flipped, the calendar turned, and all of a sudden, boom, they go on this heater. They start winning games. They're in the playoffs. All of a sudden, they won 32 of their next 45. So we saw that spark. What I don't know is, can a guy at the center position continue to provide those kind of sparks to elevate this team? Not saying that he's not. Nas is a critical piece. You've got to have a good center, but I just don't know that LaMelo was a spark, and I'm worried that they lost that.
Well, Brandon Miller was out for a large part of that chunk of the season where the Hornets weren't good. He comes back, gets healthy, and all of a sudden he's playing really well. What if I told you, Cole, that the Charlotte Hornets were better with Brandon Miller running point than they were with LaMelo Ball running point?
Yeah. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is Brandon now and Concaniple now, their roles, this is where I'm a little worried. And again, I'm not saying that it's a bad trade. I'm just concerned. Like Brandon Miller and Concaniple both are going to have huge roles now. They're going to have huge roles.
Kobe White too.
For no doubt, for the team moving forward. And I think the Hornets are expected to re-sign Kobe White, which is big, right? I saw that today, I believe this morning, and he was averaging 15 points a game last year. So that was massive. I like Kobe White. He came from the Bulls. So I think that's a massive, massive addition to that team. But when you talk about Concaniple and Brandon Miller specifically, it's clear and evident that the Hornets are wanting to build around those two. How much of a load can those two take on a night in and night out basis? You know what I mean? Because they're going to be asked to carry a lot now.
Like you said, it is going to be, run the ball or, run point on the ball by committee. Kobe White's going to have to step up and be a part of that. Christian Anderson is going to have to step up and be a part of that in the future. Here is the draft grade for the Charlotte Hornets as put out by Ricky O'Donnell of SB Nation. Quote, the Hornets are going to jack a lot of threes as a team led by LaMelo Ball, and now they have Hans Steinbach hunting the offensive rebounds. Steinbach is an absolute maniac on the offensive glass, and I think he's a really good offensive big in general. I'm not sure if he's a 4 or a 5, and I think he may be best in a Twin Towers look, which they have achieved now, Cole, now that they brought Naz Reid onto the team. He's not blown away by the Christian Anderson acquisition at 18, but he is one of the best shooters in the draft this year. I think this is going to be, and again, I know that I'm looking at it from a fan perspective who's trying to scratch and claw for any reason to get back into liking the Charlotte Hornets and following the Charlotte Hornets on a night in, night out basis. But I think this is going to be a 3-point juggernaut of a team. And if you got adding the good rebounding to that as well, this is a team that's going to get second chance opportunities and I think be really good.
Let's hear Brian Windhorst's take on the trade.
Charlotte Hornets are trading star guard LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps, and 3 second-round picks. A story we've been following since it broke overnight. We've been talking about it this morning, and now it has happened as Charlotte is moving on from one of the most popular players in the NBA. Windy, there's a lot of back-of-the-envelope math going on right now. What more do we know?
All right, let's eat this elephant one bite at a time, okay? Let's start from Minnesota. Minnesota, this is a move to get Ant Edwards the kind of backcourt running mate that he needs. Ant Edwards was a guy that people, after Giannis getting traded, were like, is this the next star player to be traded? He has watched Karl Anthony Towns go to New York in a trade that ended up not working out and win a championship. Where is his mind, his head at? He's tired of being double teamed. They get him a dynamic scorer in the backcourt. You throw a double team in Ant Edwards with LaMelo Ball on the court, you are playing with fire. LaMelo will drop 10 3-pointers on you in the blink of an eye. And so this is what their move is. To accomplish this, they are basically emptying their coffers. They're giving up, because this is going to end up sort of combining with the Julius Randle deal. They're trading 2 of their 3 best big men. Okay, in a Western Conference where everybody's getting bigger, they're trading big for small here. Including Randall and Naz Reid, who's an incredibly highly respected and valued player, to Charlotte. Right. To get this deal done, they have to grease it with the 1 first-round pick they've got left and 3 pick swaps. For Charlotte, this is a pivot to Concaniple as their franchise player. They will move away from LaMelo Ball. They will give themselves an opportunity to give a great pick-and-roll partner for Concaniple to play with, and then there will be fallout. Fallout is with Ball out of the way and his contract off the books, they can focus on re-signing Kobe White, who they traded for during last season and was really good for them. They can give him starters money to be their starting point.
All eyes on Con.
Yeah.
It's Khan's team, and that's kind of what Wendy was hinting at.
Yeah, and obviously you hope, you're betting, if you're the Charlotte Hornets, you're betting that this experiment for Minnesota is not going to work, that the West is just too big, and that these two smalls, these 2 point guards are not going to be able to do it themselves. And obviously, because the better the Minnesota Timberwolves get, the worse those picks get. So you better hope that the Timberwolves kind of sit right there in the middle or struggle in the West, and that those picks get better and better. That's what you're hoping for.
Yeah, and the good thing is, like, there are two different aspects of it. Excuse me, kind of like Wendy was hinting at there. There are two different philosophies of organization building going on here, because you've got Minnesota, who is desperately in need of somebody to have back there with Anthony Edwards, but at the same time, when you look at the contract that LaMelo was going to get in Charlotte, plus Kobe White, it tells you Charlotte really likes Kobe White and, valued Kobe White's addition enough to where they said, hey, we're willing to move on from this guy to re-sign this guy. That says a lot about Kobe White.
Yeah, maybe Kobe White's happy, playing at home as a guy that played his college ball at North Carolina, being down the road in Charlotte. Maybe he's happy being there. The Charlotte Hornet fans, Cole, though, are not happy. This was this is some amazing audio. This was
Hornets
recorded.
fans not happy, man.
Yeah, this was recorded on the street by, like, they just stopped right there in front of the Spectrum Center. If you can picture it, Cole, you've been in the Spectrum Center, right there by the train tracks, in between the train tracks and the front door. They stopped a car. The guy was hanging out the side of his car. He asked, like, hey, what do you think about this trade? And this is what he had to say.
LaMelo Ball, man. Trading LaMelo Ball from the Hornets, that's like y'all traded Michael Jordan out to Chicago Bulls. Y'all already didn't give us Kobe Bryant. Y'all keep messing up the team chemistry. He was the hottest on the team. He bought us all the ticket sales. He made the most points on the team. It was nobody else better than him. He made it beautiful to watch. I swear, he made us want to come here. Man, look at my man's on side of the building. Look at him. Now they got How would y'all trade LaMelo? Bring back LaMelo, reverse the trade. Tell him reverse trade.
He made it beautiful to watch.
That was funny. The guy in the
That is
background
so
made
good.
the video, didn't he? I mean, he made it funny. I think it's one of those trades that fans, of course, aren't going to be happy about immediately, because, like, the guy's right. People went to Hornets games to see LaMelo. I went to a Hornets tailgate party 2 years ago, and it was in Charlotte, and, like, people, all they talked about was LaMelo. He was a transcendent player. Now, he couldn't do it by himself, but I think the hard part is, as a fan, you see that guy go, it might not necessarily make a ton of sense, but you've got to kind of trust. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, Diesel, but you brought this up a minute ago. You are getting a proven front court commodity in Naz Reid that has been a really good player in the NBA. So if everything else continues to take shape, you needed that. You're going to need good guard play from Con Knippel, and we'll see if Con Knippel steps up to be the franchise guy.
Well, this is it sort of echoes a little bit the heat that Jerry Jones took, right?
Micah.
When they traded Micah away.
Yeah.
And everybody's looking at him like, you're an idiot. What are you doing? This is going to blow up in your face. And then fast forward, a year and a half, something like that. Fans are saying, well, Jerry won the trade.
Yeah.
Like, this is a really, really good trade.
You got Kenny Clark, Quentin Williams, Malachi Lawrence, Caleb. I mean, all these picks. Yeah.
The Hornets are obviously hoping that is the case. And Cole, this is Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. He's shouting out the Hornets GM, Jeff Peterson, because he loves this trade.
I think there is a name that we need to start to learn about with all of this going on right now. The man's name is Jeff Peterson. I am not going to sit here and tell you I know a lot about him, but I'm going to start to. He is the executive with the Charlotte Hornets. He's their general manager. And I think this guy is insanely impressive in what he's done so far. Let me tell you why. He looked at last year and he said, how do I get my team better? Oh, I'm going to go out there and get Kobe White from the Chicago Bulls, but I'm going to put him on my bench because I got a starting lineup. And my starting lineup's kind of working a little bit. And it was really good at the end of the season. But he's smart enough to know that was kind of fool's gold. So I got LaMelo Ball up to a point where he played 72 games. averaged 20 points a game. And now I'm going to get assets in return for him and not have to give up an asset to get off of him and his contract. But here's what he did that was even smarter. He said, I'm going to bring in LaMelo's replacement. Nobody's going to realize that. The guy's going to be awesome. And then I'm going to go draft LaMelo's replacement's replacement. And what he did was he drafted a point guard in the first round of the draft. We didn't hear about the LaMelo Ball rumors until literally the night before he traded him. And at the same time, he signed Kobe White, LaMelo's replacement, for significantly less, 3 years, $74 million, than LaMelo is making. And he had the guy's backup ready to go. And he brings in Naz Reid at a position of need as a big, all while drafting his backup, the guy Steinbach now from Washington, who's a rebounding machine. I don't know this guy, but I'm going to start to know this guy because Jeff Peterson, the guy who runs the Hornets, is really impressive through all this.
I like it. He's convincing me. He's selling me. I mean, I was a little skeptical, but he did good. He's a good salesman right there.
You know, and to the Hornets fan on the side of the road, I get it. The reaction is obviously every time the Charlotte Hornets have gotten a quality piece, they trade him away because, well, they can't hold on to him.
Yeah.
And Charlotte Hornet fans are going to feel that way until probably the midway point of the season, until they are proven right or proven wrong.
Yeah.
If they're proven right, oh man, sorry, Jeff, we're going to have to take back everything nice that we're saying about you here. But if it proves to be a fruitful trade, if Con Knippel, Kobe White, and Brandon Gibson are that backcourt that leads this franchise into the next era, this next decade, they're incredibly young and they can keep around for a long time. And then obviously if you are that successful, you just don't move from them, Jeff. You don't move on from these guys. You pay them what they want and find that fourth piece, whatever it is, that power forward that can ball for you and make a run. Let's see.
A lot of people critical of it if you're a Hornets fan, and I get why. I think Diesel, the way I look at it is short term, you could say Minnesota won the trade. Short term. Because, like, if LaMelo goes out to Minnesota and plays 70-plus games, they have a legitimate chance to be a finals contender now. You now have Anthony Edwards, LaMelo, Rudy, elite perimeter defense, which is pretty scary. So short term, I think a lot of people, even these Hornets fans, might think, yeah, Minnesota won the trade. But I think long term, like, hey, also the injury side of it, if LaMelo keeps getting hurt, he has been a little injury prone, or if these future picks become valuable, Charlotte could look brilliant, you know, and especially if Naz Reid's turned out to be a really good player, which he already is if he fits in that system like Charles Lee thinks he can. I think long term it might be a year or two, but I think that's when we say, man, that was actually a couple of years ago. That was a really smart move by the Hornets to do that.
Yeah, it's not a fun place to be if you're a Hornets diehard to say, gosh, every time we move on from somebody, as soon as we get a star, we let them go. I get it. I get the feeling, but that's why fans aren't allowed to make these decisions.
Yeah, it's true. We're not making them.
No.
Thank God. But I tell you what, I do appreciate the fact that they're making moves. I do appreciate that. I want to see the organization progress. And if they feel like they hit the one step, but they need to go one more, then, hey, we'll see. We'll see. Diesel, let's talk Clemson. Let's talk concerts turning into profitability for athletic departments. A good article on the state newspaper from Chapel Fowler. Chapel joins the show next.
Diesel Bryson on the Fan Upstate.
You know, Diesel, you and I have these morning sports spins that we air every day, and they air on our other stations across the Odyssey network. And this morning I was talking about the Morgan Wallen concert in Clemson this weekend and how concerts are now tying into sports and athletic budgets. And to talk about that, Chapel Fowler, who wrote a great article, a great piece on this earlier this week that you can check out on thestatenewspaper.com. Chapel Fowler joins the show. Also get into a little Clemson baseball, maybe. What's going on in the latest with the transfer portal and many other Clemson-related things. Chapel, how are you, man?
I'm good. Good to be on with you guys again. And I wish I was walking out on stage with Morgan Wallen at like 9 p.m. like Cole joked that I was. I'd probably be more big time than I am right now.
Did you think that somebody would be gullible enough, Chapel, to believe that on Twitter today?
You know, anybody, I don't know. It's hard to tell what's real or not on there, and people run with stuff. So, you know, I would have been honored if somebody did. Let's say that.
And Diesel, for those I don't know if you know this or not, and for any other Tolos out there that don't know, Morgan Wallen on his tours, every tour, wherever he's at, he walks out with somebody that's famous to that part. So like when he played in Tuscaloosa, he walked out with Nick Saban. Wherever he is, he walks out on stage with somebody, you know, through the tunnel. So there's all kind of speculation of who he's going to walk out with. And I said on Twitter today it was Chapel Fowler. But I don't know if anybody believed me or not.
Chapel, you know, talk about the plan for these concerts. Obviously, so far, it's been some of the biggest names in country music. Maybe it's still too early, small sample size to get a good sense, but how diverse is Clemson planning to make this concert series over time? Are they sticking with country? What's it going to be?
Yeah, I think country's kind of the talk of the town right now. It's what all these big stadiums are doing. That doesn't mean you can't do other acts. I mean, obviously in the 80s and 90s, Clemson has that great history of hosting the Stones and all these other classic bands. And you see up in Charlotte or down in Atlanta, you know, bands like that play in big football stadiums all the time. So it's not like the demand for a big rock concert isn't there. But country, I think, that's just the Southeast. Like that's what people want to show up in droves to see sometimes. And obviously between Strait and Wallen, like that's two of the biggest names in the genre between current and former greats. So I think that's just kind of where everybody's at right now. You mentioned Wallen, Tuscaloosa. He's also played in Florida. Like he's going up to Michigan later on his tour. Luke Combs is at Tennessee. All these people are really tapping into country artists right now. And it has to go both ways, right? Like the university has to want to put this on, but there also has to be interest on the touring company's part, and the artist has to want to play there and feel like they can make enough money, draw out enough people. So it's kind of been the happy match right now. It is kind of college football and country music, which do go together very much so. I don't think it's only country going forward, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the dominant theme for Clemson and for other places in these next 5-10 years as more schools add into this concert at the stadium vibe.
Chapel, have you seen any reports or have plans to look into how these concerts are split revenue-wise? Like, for example, Morgan Wallen in Clemson tonight and tomorrow, when he comes for 2 days, how much of the revenue does university actually get to keep? How much does Wallen or the production company, whoever's putting the concert on, do you know any of that information?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that stuff is behind closed doors, and that's very intentional on Clemson's part. And I think it benefits both parties. Me as a journalist, I'd love to know the exact split and see the contract and FOIA for it. But those agreements that are signed between whether this is George Strait's touring company or his representation or Morgan Wallen's, they are not signing those with Clemson Athletics. They're signing them with Clemson Ventures, which is Clemson's, third-party revenue-generating apparatus they made. Established it in fall 24, but it's really ramped up in earnest in this revenue-sharing era. And that's like a third-party affiliate organization. It's similar to IPTAY, to the Gamecock Club. So it's not new by any means that schools kind of have these affiliated organizations. And it goes on across the country, but you're able to kind of keep things a little bit more low key, like Clemson's media rights deals and stuff like that. And advertising deals for the longest time were under like Clemson Athletics Properties, Catco, which is their separate spinoff organization that they made. And it was the same thing for that. So all those revenue splits are in a place where we can't see them. I do know Clemson is doing pretty well off these concerts. I mean, Morgan Wallen is probably going to make a lot more money than Clemson Athletics is for playing in Clemson this weekend. But the straight concert, according to Tiger Illustrated's reporting, was $4 million roughly in revenue for Clemson. Otherwise, I've heard they're like comfortably in the seven figures for all these things. They wouldn't be putting this on and going through all the hassle if there wasn't a good payday on their end. So it's not like they're going to make 80% of anything. I don't see, but there's enough there for a school to go through all the hassle that Clemson's going through right now with the field replacement and everything to make it worth their while.
Do you know if Dabo Sweeney has invited Shane Beamer to this one? Because the FaceTime from the field, and Shane was busy doing recruiting, couldn't come to the last one. Do you know if Shane's coming to this one?
Oh my gosh. I think I want to say I saw Beamer tweet earlier that he's actually going to the Dude Perfect showing in Greenville tonight at Bon Secours.
Oh,
I did see that.
I think that's where he's going to be tonight. Yeah.
Okay. Well, a follow-up to that is what is Clemson doing to be able to pull shows away from Bon Secours and CCNB Amphitheater, the two most comparable venues in the upstate that would otherwise probably be trying to book shows like this? Like what are they offering to be able to pull those shows away?
Yeah, I think obviously it's a unique venue. I think the concept of playing in somewhere open air, a historic college football stadium, that maybe perks people's ears up a little bit more than just insert concert here or amphitheater there. So stuff like that plays a role. I mean, they're very active in pursuing these artists. I'm sure they're offering certain perks or certain discounts on certain things, and they are very much into the spirit of like, let's collaborate. Like, yes, this is our facility, but you're renting it. Like, let's use it. Let's utilize it. Obviously, you think back to last year, like Dabo's running down the hill, the Savannah Bananas, George Strait's performing at the 50-yard line. Wallen's stage is actually going to be set up in front of the hill, so I don't think they're really going to utilize the hill for this weekend. But I think Clemson's been a pretty willing partner for this stuff, and I think that's what you have to do. Like, you can't put a bunch of restrictions on people. And again, they're not just opening their doors for foreign artists to tear up the field and do this and that and totally alter the historic place. But they're very receptive to, collaborating and stuff like that. And for the longest time, so many schools, not just Clemson, but across the country, did not have many concerts like this because there are a lot of extra hoops you have to jump through. But at the same time, in the era we're in right now, like, you can't have those stadiums lay dormant for 9 months. You need to activate them, to use the buzzword, outside of August to November. So Clemson's very willing to do that, and I think that's how they're going to keep drawing big names in.
We're talking to Chapel Fowler of the state newspaper, 97.1 Spartanburg, 97.7 Greenville, 101.5 Anderson, and anywhere on the Fan Upstate, Odyssey, iHeartRadio apps as well. Chapel, I asked you about the split of what these universities like Clemson gets. Now, when it comes to where they put the money, the second part of that question, how much of these concerts, the money generated, goes toward football, and is it split with other sports as well?
Yeah, I think more than anything else, the way to think about all the revenue that Clemson gets from a concert like this, by the books, a portion of this revenue is going to go to Clemson Athletics. That's, food, beverage, this stadium rental fee. A lot of the revenue is going to go to Clemson Ventures, which is more their revenue generating apparatus. But all that money at the end of the day, no matter how it's classified, kind of flows into general funding for Clemson Athletics. So whether they're earmarking specific things, I don't know. I know that no money that comes into like Clemson Athletics is usually earmarked for, this has to go to this team or this sport. That's a little bit more of the IPTAY and donation side. But the way I think about it, you've got lever A, B, and C, and maybe lever A is Clemson Athletics food and beverage revenue, which was about, I think, $1.4 million from George Strait after they split 50-50 with their provider. And maybe bucket 2 is this unknown sum in the whatever million that Clemson Ventures is getting from its cut of tickets and parking sales and VIP and everything with Wallen's representation. Those levers are both kind of flowing into the same big bucket, and that's Clemson's big old $250 million budget that they have to offset this year. So I think it all kind of flows to the same spot, and then you do what you want with it. But the key is just getting the money in there in the first place.
Chapel, I saw you posting about this earlier today. I think they announced that Graham Neff had spoken to the Board of Trustees about being top 15 in attendance nationally in 6 different sports. Just curious, what happens with that information once it's presented to the Board of Trustees? I'm sure it's more than just a pat on the back, attaboy, Graham, way to get people in here. What becomes of that information now that it's in the Board of Trustees' hands?
Yeah, I mean, I think that stuff is probably just their way to, tell their bosses that, hey, we're doing a good job. I'd have to look at Graham Neff's contract to see if there's any bonuses he gets from a certain attendance number with certain sports or stuff like that. But I think, they're always trying to present and update their bosses and the board of trustees, which really does, at the end of the day, governs a lot of stuff at a lot of schools, Clemson included. If the board likes somebody or doesn't like somebody, that usually goes a long way. So, those meetings are always fascinating for me to tune into because people like me and you and Bryson, like we're also nose to the ground, right? Like we're in this stuff all the time. It's interesting to see how someone like Clemson's athletic director, in this case, Clemson Ventures' CEO was also presenting to the board of trustees to kind of show you how important that separate third-party revenue generating arm is to the university now. They've got Michael Drake up there talking with Graham Neff presenting to the board. So to see what those guys kind of give in their clip notes, to university leaders, I think is always an interesting sign of how is Clemson presenting itself publicly? What do they want to influence or, really make sure people understand? For the board of trustees, I think a lot of that stuff is really information only, but at the same time, like that information matters and they take notice of stuff. I'm sure there were trustees that weren't thrilled about the football team going in 7-6 and stuff like that, but I'm sure they're happy about the NIL investment since then and all these other revenue streams, right? So it all kind of goes as they see it. But things like that, I think, are really interesting. Those meetings, I love tuning into them.
Chappell, you mentioned football there. We are less than a month away, just a few weeks away from ACC kickoff, ACC Media Days up in Charlotte. I'm sure you'll be there. We'll be there as well. We see you every year up in the Queen City. But I want to know what your expectation is for not like how Media Days handled by Clemson, but, last year I thought it was really interesting. Last year it felt like when we were up there in Charlotte, and you tell me if you had a differing opinion, it felt like Clemson going into the season with Dabo. I think they had Cade up there last year and a few others. It felt like they were the class of the ACC going into the season when we were up there in Charlotte. Now, obviously, you fast forward, you said it, they went 7-6, and they were 4-4 in the ACC, whatever the ACC record was. Those preseason expectations that Phil still had, that we all had, didn't translate into what happened on the field. Do you have a different expectation going into these type of preseason press conferences? I know we do the Clemson Open House coming up in August as well, where you as a reporter and a writer, because we have to talk about these things for 4 hours a day, every day, and we have thoughts and vibes of how we think things are going to go. Do you change your expectations on a team like Clemson because of what happened last year? Does that change the way you look at things when you go to these type of events, if that makes sense?
Yeah, well, I certainly think, and I agree with you on that point, like Clemson has lost a lot of the benefit of the doubt
there you go.
that it had in preseasons of year past. I mean, gosh, if you were to pull up like their college football reference page right now and look at what their preseason ranking was the last 5 or 6 years, even in this kind of down spell compared to that historic stretch from 15 to 20 they had, it is so high. I want to say they were preseason number 4 in 22, and probably not too far off in 2023, maybe number 9. And that dropped a little bit in 24 after they went, 9-4 in 23. But that stuff was always there. This year's Clemson team is not going to be that. They're going to be unranked in the preseason AP Top 25 for the first time in 2014. They're not going to be picked to win the ACC. If they're picked third in the ACC, I'd be surprised. All those things have swung in the other direction. But the other spin on that is hey, those predictions are wrong all the time, every year. So Dabo and them, I think, are really leaning into that. And I think that may be a good thing. You bring back more of an edge. You don't have to manufacture doubters anymore. There are plenty of doubters out there. You don't have to, kind of mangle the truth and be oh, well, these people don't believe in us. There are a lot of people actually not believing in you right now. So if you want to have that chip on your shoulder, you got it. And I think what you'll hear from Dabo and the guys that are bringing up there is probably a lot along those lines. Hey, we had a bad year. We understand that. We want to prove that that's not the case anymore. We want to prove to people that one off year does not distract us from our mission. And we are the consistent, great Clemson football program of the last 15 years. I think they'll lean into that a lot, but I don't think the preseason polls are going to be as in love with them this year as they were last year for very obvious and I think fair reasons.
At Chappell Fowler is where you can find him on Twitter. Chappell Fowler of the State Newspaper joining us here on Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson. Chappell, where's Clemson's response to South Carolina's "This Is Not Columbia" video? Are they going to be too classy for that? Are they going to do a video showing off the slums, the baking heat, the empty trophy cases in Columbia? They got to respond, right?
Clemson did respond with some photos, not a video, later in that evening. And I think the response was probably intentionally subtle on their part, maybe to create a bit of a contrast. But yeah, they put out a few photos, not directly replying or anything, but I want to say the caption was "No place we'd rather be" or something like that. And it was some nice shots of the football stadium and then above drone shot that showed kind of some of the lakes and facilities. But yeah, that was some fun summer spiciness. I'm always for that.
Chappell, what's the latest? My last question for you. What's the latest on Clemson baseball? The transfer portal right now, obviously very important, with Clemson having the season they had this past spring, not a good season at all. And from the Clemson fans I've talked to that care about the baseball program, their hopes aren't really high that they've done a lot in the offseason to change the narrative in terms of what this team will look like in 2027. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, a big challenge ahead, and for very good reason. I mean, having watched a few of those games, I know there are some people who watch more. There are just a number of maddening mistakes to think about, that like base running error and stuff. I think against Virginia Tech when they lost at the end, just a lot of games and moments that were very not Clemson baseball, not the things that we saw for years under Bakich, who did have those awesome 3 years to start. I think they're viewing this as a big time reset, and it's a good opportunity to do it. The portal stuff still very much in motion. I know that they have pretty significantly elevated NIL funding and ability to go get more people. Obviously, they have a full 34-person roster. They're fully scholarshiped, which is not the case everywhere across the country. I thought the pickup yesterday, that catcher from Southern Cal, was a good one. And I don't know. It's tough because sometimes the teams that win those portal cycles aren't the teams that are, still playing in June. So I think player evaluation is more important than ever. Bakich has shown for 3 years, a number of the guys that they had on their 23, 24, 25 teams, whether they were portal guys or high school guys, were not the most celebrated recruits of all time. Think about Hinderleiter and Alden Mathis, guys from Davidson, guys from random schools you haven't really heard of, that kind of get to Clemson and elevate their game. So I haven't looked at their full list ranks on the baseball portal rankings. I don't really know if those exist. I know that they haven't signed some SEC gunner who throws a 102 fastball or something like that. But they've won in the past without having those guys. So I'm really interested to see how, the end of the portal, the draft is a big part of this too. Who gets picked, who comes back, someone like Ariston Beasy, a lot of interesting stay or go situations, and kind of look in July and see where the roster's at. But yeah, I know they have a little bit more money to work with, but it's about how you distribute that and who you get. So I'm really interested to see how that plays out. And yeah, they're not going to have any Omaha predictions either, so they can really get into that chip on the shoulder mindset in 2027, just like football will in a few months.
Isaac Cadena, the catcher from Southern Cal, is who you were talking about. 286, 8 home runs last year for Southern Cal. Had some fun dealing with this yesterday at Chappell. The article came out on Yahoo Sports. It was all about the Protect College Sports Act, and if it's signed, it sort of freezes all conference realignment. We had a lot of fun talking to you last year, a little bit before, 18 months ago, about Clemson and Florida State, and they're eyeing to maybe get out of the ACC. Do you think if this were to go into effect or get farther down the road, does that force Clemson to maybe think about exiting the ACC sooner?
Yeah, I haven't read that story yet. I'm happy right now to be in a spot where realignment is not right at the tip of my tongue all the time, and lawsuits aren't, and I'm not refreshing the Charlotte court docket and stuff like that. I love when we get to the season and those things just wither away. But it's a huge part of everything. I always just, with all these legislations and this and that, until it is passed and it's gotten through all the appeals and the challenges against it, and it is actually in motion, I'm just man, I can't even think about that right now. I do know that it's so interesting in a spot for Clemson. You just want to be in the mix whenever the next big thing comes. And that's such a hard and vague thing to decide how you're going to tackle. And what does being in the mix even mean? Does it mean that this random executive at this random new startup league really likes your football team? I don't know. Does it mean there's a personal relationship? I don't know. But I think everything that they're doing, we talked about concerts earlier, and baseball NIL, basketball got more portal money, men's and women's did this year to kind of pursue who they were after. Football elevated spending, $30 million roster up from like $22 million last year. All these things are obviously here to help sports in their specific seasons and get wins and all that. But I think it's all part of Clemson's positioning. They want to show people that, hey, we spend big money. We're up there. We're still competitive. We're not shying away from the new world of college sports. So whether that's something that's triggered by this College Sports Act, or it's something in a few years, or it's when the Super League comes in 2032 or whatever, I think Clemson's goal behind the scenes, on top of all the wins on the field, is to have themselves in position to be in that spot. But at the same time, that's probably not going to be their decision. It's going to be somebody else's. So we will see how all that plays out in like 8 years.
Yeah, we will. Chapel, you're the best. As always, very much appreciate your time, contribution to the show. We love you, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. You guys have a good weekend.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Chapel Fowler, the state newspaper, not walking out with Morgan Wallen tonight. Evidently not. I don't know who is. I think it's going to be somebody you'll see on TikTok, I'm sure. I think it's going to be somebody with long blonde hair.
It's going to be me.
Oh,
Sorry, I hadn't told you yet.
Oh, wow. Wow, that'd be awesome.
Who's Morgan Wallen?
Country singer.
Oh, okay.
Probably, I don't know the numbers, but I would say probably the biggest. Luke Combs is huge too, of course, but I'd say Morgan's probably the biggest right now. And, when you talk about like filling up stadiums, you can't have just, let's not disrespect like Eric Church, for example, but if Eric Church plays at Clemson, he's not filling up Death Valley. Good artist.
Right.
People love this. I thought his concert here in Greenville a few months ago was awesome. But he ain't filling up Death Valley. It's 85,000 people.
I'm interested to see if he said they're putting the stage in the end zone, maybe utilizing 65% of the stadium, whatever it may be. I'm interested to see what kind of attendance they'll be able to pull tonight. Yeah. Cole, let's check out everything else that's going on in the sports world. Our whip around, our daily wires next.
Upstate.
Well, a lot of news going on, Cole. Not a lot of time to cover it all. We hit it in one go with our Daily Wires. The buzz around the sports world. After starting the World Cup with two performances of incredible vibrancy, the United States finished its group stage Thursday with a loss. Unfortunately, to Turkey, a 3-2 loss. The 98th minute, Turkey scored the game-winning goal.
I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We're supposed to eat those things at Thanksgiving, not lose to them in soccer, right?
You just be like, turkey, yay!
Yeah.
I like turkey.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Braves are back in action tonight against
You
the
like how I
San
put that
Francisco
on?
Giants. Yeah. Now, good news is the Giants are sub 500 at home.
It doesn't matter. Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Ronaldo Lopez will be on the bump for the Braves. 10:15 first pitch, so you're going to be up late again tonight if you're watching the game. More NL East news. The Mets have fired manager Carlos Mendoza after their 34-47 start. Andy Green was named interim manager for the rest of the season. Look out, Braves. The last time an NL East manager was fired, the Phillies got hot.
You're right.
They're coming for you.
I don't say that. I mean, it's already getting bad.
Restricted free agent Mark Williams intends to sign a 3-year, $38 million fully guaranteed contract to return to the Phoenix Suns, reported by Shams Charania. The Suns finished negotiations with Williams' Excel Sports Management agents Jeff Schwartz and Jordan Gertler last night. This is an odd one, Cole. Deion Sanders is getting fitted for new toes.
Huh?
He was measured for prosthetic toes to go on his left foot, where his two biggest toes were amputated in 2021. Didn't know that about Prime. The new toes will support the side of his foot that bears a lot of his weight and will improve his balance, posture, and gait.
Where do you order new toes from?
The toe store, obviously. Yeah. Scandal can strike anywhere. Cole. Gardner-Webb University has decided not to retain their softball coach, Bailey Wigness, not because she had a losing record, which she did, but because an investigation uncovered that she pursued a romantic relationship with multiple athletes and coaches within the program during her tenure and at multiple stops throughout her career. She would allegedly lure players to her house to watch her dog and then attempt to woo them.
Not good. That'll get you fired.
It will. Despite being selected in the second round by the Clippers, Narcisse Ngoy says he'll return to Auburn instead, saying, quote, "I am thankful for the Clippers' confidence in me. I fully intend to honor my commitment to Auburn and look forward to wearing the Auburn Tigers jersey for the 2026 season."
I like that. I mean, I do like that. Let's go back to college for one more year.
Yeah, but now the Clippers are out of big man.
Yeah,
that's tough for them. Yeah, the MLB Players Association proposed a ban on prop betting to help combat harassment from disgruntled gamblers, both with sportsbooks and daily fantasy operators.
That'll fix it.
Sorry, no more betting on homers in a game. Eric Cole led the Travelers Championship at the TPC River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut after a round 163. Scotty Scheffler was one stroke behind him. Going to do a live check-in here. Currently, Scotty leads the way. He's done today, 16 under. Man, what a swing from last week to this week. Guys were struggling to get under par. Now Scotty's 16 under. 16 under through two
What are they playing,
rounds.
Village Greens?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, my gosh. 16 under.
He birdied 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 13, 14, 15, and 16. It's like they're playing putt-putt out there.
That's unbelievable.
7-time Wimbledon singles champion 44-year-old Serena Williams' draw at Wimbledon is now known. She'll face 20-year-old Aussie Maya Joint. This is her first singles match in nearly 4 years. She'll also compete in doubles with her sister Venus.
Oh, how about it? Still rocking and rolling.
And those are your daily wires.
Buzz.
Yeah.
The one thing, though, and I don't know if you talked about this. Tell me if you did. The one thing that you and I have not gotten to this week, and we cannot let this show go off the air until we do. The biggest sports story of the week. Caitlin Clark. How about a fist to the throat? Where do you stand on it? We'll get into it next. about how the WNBA players are allowed to treat the superstar that is Caitlin Clark. Diesel, did you apologize if I'm repeating material from yesterday when you were so low, but one of the biggest news stories of the day. Did you hit on this yesterday?
Did not.
Good. So it's fresh on your mind and my mind, right? It is fresh on our minds as Caitlin Clark in the news, the WNBA in the news, but not for the reasons the WNBA and Caitlin Clark should be in the news. If you haven't seen this, Tolos, there was a video and pictures that have surfaced after the NBA, the WNBA rather, upgraded it to a flagrant 2 Wednesday night. For those that don't know what happened, Wednesday night against the Phoenix Mercury, Diesel, Clark drove the basket and lost her footing while falling to the floor. During the scramble for the loose ball, Mercury star Alyssa Thomas came down on Clark. Video shows Thomas making forceful contact with her fist to Clark's throat neck area while trying to fight for positions. Officials did not call a foul on the play. No foul. Now, everybody's now calling it a throat punch because the videos, the pictures, it's her fist on the throat. It's gone viral, and the WNBA came back and upgraded the foul. The league did punish Alyssa Thomas, but it's not about one game. I ask you the question, Diesel, and I ask the Tolos as well. When it comes to Caitlin Clark, this big story that so many have made about race, that so many have made about this, that so many have made about that, is this an ongoing problem that you think the WNBA needs to nip in the bud, or is the media doing what the media does in June and spending too much time on this?
Well, it's Caitlin Clark's throat's fault for being right where Alyssa Thomas's fist needed to be, right? It's two objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time. Some famous physicist said that.
Lonzo.
Yeah. The problem, the WNBA really needs some more stars because everyone is hyper-focused on every single foul, every single thing that happens to Caitlin Clark as if, the league is going to fold if Caitlin Clark gets upset about this and ends up leaving the league. She's plying her trade at the biggest opportunity to do so. She's making money doing it. If she feels like she's getting beat up, take it up with the WNBA Players Association. Outside of that, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, whatever.
I don't think the league would fold. But I do think if Caitlin Clark eventually, like if you go watch the videos over the time that she's been in WNBA, the very, very flagrant fouls that have been called, the very tough hits, all of this, I think if she were to leave, which I don't think she will, I think that's kind of ludicrous. A lot of these talking heads out there all over talking about her leaving the WNBA. I don't think she will. But I do think if she were to leave, the WNBA would take a massive hit. I don't think that's going to happen, number one. Number two, Diesel, I don't think it would fold, but I do think a massive hit. When you talk about the star of your sport, you and I don't talk about the WNBA. Most outlets don't really just sit and cover the WNBA. Mm-hmm. But when they have an incident like this, every sports station, every sports show, everybody's talking about it. But we're talking about it for the wrong reasons, right? So I'm not saying, and Tolos, want to hear from you at 844-326-3663. Joy Law from text lines open and phone lines are open as well. Diesel, I'm not saying that Caitlin Clark should be this prized possession that never is allowed to be touched or harmed or fouled. All I'm saying is the league, I think, in my opinion, should at least understand that, hey, she's kind of the face of our league. We probably don't need to allow these things to get out of control if we want our league to continue to grow, because the WNBA needs to do that. They need to continue to grow.
Well, these incidents are helping the WNBA continue to grow. Look, I'm not saying, hey, open season, start throwing elbows at Caitlin Clark, but I mean, let's be real. These are some of these events probably bring in viewers. Like they want to see what's going to happen in the next game. So I mean, Caitlin Clark is an intense basketball player, Cole. It's not like she's never dished out punishment herself.
Yeah. I think there's two ways to look at it. And what you the angle you brought up is, hey, things like this are not necessarily bad because people are now watching, tuning in, watching the highlights, whatever. I think the other angle that a lot of people are bringing to the table is we're doing it for the wrong reasons. The WNBA, nobody's like sitting analyzing the basketball that's being played, even though there is good basketball. It's an interesting story. I, as someone who does enjoy women's basketball at the collegiate level, I would like to see the WNBA grow. I'm a sports fan, so of course I want it to grow and want it to get better and want it to continue. But I think at the same time, you do have to understand who your stars are. It does seem like, for whatever reason, that there are a lot of players in the WNBA that are out to get Caitlin Clark. What do you think, Tolos? 844-326-3663. Let's go to the phone lines. TA and Gaffney wants to weigh in. What do you think, TA?
I might step on some toes here, but I got my hood card, if you will. And Diesel, I disagree with you. I couldn't disagree more with you about how Caitlin plays aggressively, and that's why she might be getting it back. There's no reason or
no. I didn't say she's getting punched in the throat because she plays aggressively. I'm just saying she also plays aggressively. It's sports. It's supposed to be played aggressively.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, let me finish, please. I think Caitlin Clark is like the Tiger Woods of the 90s. She moves the needle as much as anybody, and the WNBA does. And quite honestly, this would be reverse of what used to happen. I think you have some angry women, and mostly African-American women, that are putting this punishment on the Caitlin. But these same women are benefiting as much or more than they would have if Caitlin Clark was not playing in the WNBA. She's the reason, like Tiger Woods, purses in golf went up. Caitlin's the reason the salaries in the WNBA went up. They should, if anything, I forgot the golfer that said it, but like Tiger won the Masters, and the next year he said, what are we having? Like fried chicken and collard greens. You know, he's making a very racial joke at the time. But back to basketball, what I see with my eyes is these African-American females that might have some little bit of anger because she does play with swag, confidence. You don't back down for nobody. And she's taking some punishment unnecessarily for benefiting
What's your name?
the league. I'm not saying that that's wise because she's benefiting the league, but if everybody would take a step back and say, hey, what has Caitlin Clark done for the game of basketball in the WNBA? And the answer to that question is endless. Financially, not only for herself, but again, those other people that are throwing bad vibes her way. I just don't understand why.
So, TA, do you want? Are you saying you want Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner of the WNBA, to send out emails and to create training modules for all the African American players to make sure they know not to lay a finger on Caitlin Clark?
No, I'm saying you throw a blanket over it. And not at all. That was taken wrong. Totally out of context. I'm saying that from all the videos I've seen, that people, even back in college, the girl at LSU, I can't remember her name,
Angel Reese,
was just getting extremely physical with Caitlin Clark, because if anything, they're more alike than they are different. He plays her game just like. Again, you have to grow up. I grew up in the hood, man, with black and white people. I sit down at tables, not to get totally off the subject, but I just see black ladies, good, strong women that are punishing Caitlin. No, I'm not saying the commissioner should come out and specifically do what I'm saying. I think I have the lateral room to make these statements. The commissioners don't without outrageous, feedback or that wouldn't work for her. I'm saying.
Well, TA,
that's what I see.
No, I'm with you. Listen, here's my thoughts on it. Going off of what you said a little bit, it's real black and white. It's real simple for me. The game should be officiated so that it doesn't matter who you are, what color you are. There's no flagrants that are acceptable. And look, they're going to happen, but like the officiating to me is not getting near enough of the highlight and the focus here. The officials are the one that are required to do this, to control this. And Diesel brought up the commissioner. Like, of course, she has to get involved at times, but there's 3 officials on the court. It doesn't matter if it's Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, whoever. It's their job to make sure that this stuff doesn't happen.
I'm going to go, but I'll finish with this. If it took me saying that for you to perfectly articulate what you just said, then I'll take that, because what you just said is exactly what needs to happen. So if I did not mean to offend anybody.
No, you're good.
I got biracial children. I'm in there. I understand. But yes, what you said is what needs to happen.
TA, you're the man.
Great topic.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Good call, TA.
844-326-3663 is the phone number where you can reach the show. Cocky for a reason up next, Diesel. What's cocky for a reason's take on this Caitlin Clark subject?
Yeah, the Caitlin Clark, like I say, it's a touchy situation, like you were saying earlier. But as long as my girl Sophie is going to be the enforcer, let them do what they do. If
She kind of has become the enforcer.
If they want to pick on Caitlin, they're going to get the smoke. You know. Sophie's going to bring it back to them twice over. So if they want to bring it, it's brought, and Sophie's going to take care of a little business. You know.
Hey, if people wanted to foul MJ hard, you got to have a Dennis Rodman on the roster that's willing to go out there and get himself thrown out of a ball game by retaliating.
Exactly. They didn't bring Dennis over for scoring. They brought him over for rebounds. They brought him over to kick those guys in Detroit's butt. So if to protect that MJ, that's all the reason why they hired him.
I did watch a TikTok video this morning of like back to back Sophie Cunningham highlights of her doing just that, enforcing, kind of being the Robin to Batman, if you will. It's funny, but you're in a way kind of right there. Cocky for a reason.
Yeah, like I say, let them police themselves. I mean, if they want to do flagrant, hey, go flagrant right back on them. They want to do a flagrant one, somebody gonna get a flagrant two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. Cocky, appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
844-326-3663. Where was Rodman at? Was he at the Pistons?
Before or after the Bulls?
Before. He was in Detroit, right?
Yes.
And then he went to Chicago. Okay. Is that right? From Detroit to Chicago? I think that's right.
Correct. He was with Detroit from 86 to 93. No, he was at the Spurs from 93 to 95.
Oh.
And then
went to Chicago after that.
Chicago after that.
I missed the Spurs.
Yeah. I don't remember him in a Spurs jersey. Granted, I was 9 when that happened, so.
Yeah, golly. Let's keep it going. 844-326-3663 if you just tuned in. We're talking about Caitlin Clark. Brandon Burnett gets in on the Joy Law Firm text line and says she just needs to go play for Ice Cube in the Big Three. He will pay her more. We talked about that. I mean, you joke about it. We talked about it for a long time. Which league she would entertain. Remember that?
Yeah, I mean, but do you want the officials in the WNBA trained to call tighter against Caitlin Clark?
No, I don't want them to call tighter. I want them to do their job. Like what happened the other night. They didn't call a flagrant. Like they didn't even call a foul on. So like I don't understand how when that play happens, you don't even call a foul. Like you just got to do your job. If you do your job as an official, I'm not saying fights and scuffles and all that won't happen. It's just going to happen as part of the game. But if you do your job 90% of the time, you eliminate that stuff. I see a lot of this stuff in the game, and you can blame the coaches or other players all you want. But any sport, Diesel, it is the official's job to regulate and keep control of that game. How many times in basketball, especially in high school, we say, the officials are letting it get out of hand. You know, it's their job to corral the situation, and they have a whistle in their mouth, and they're supposed to use it and implement the rules that are there. Let's see what Tom in Somerville has to say. What's up, Tom?
Hey, guys. So I noticed something about the WNBA, okay? And the only time people talk about the WNBA is when something like this happens.
Correct.
And to me, that's the problem with the WNBA.
There you go.
Okay. Only time we talk about it is when something like this happens.
Yeah.
And, I didn't even hear about this till the day after. So, I mean, how big was it? Now, I saw the play, and my question is this. if the same thing happened to Angel Reese, what would the response be? Because I can assure you, if somebody did that to her, whoever did it is getting more than a 1-game suspension.
Might be right.
Yeah, maybe.
Might be right.
So, and
They might be catching the old 1-2 from Angel also.
Oh, it'd be a full-on 2004 Carolina Clemson type brawl on the court.
You know, that was my first.
Palace.
You know, that was my first ever Clemson Carolina game, Tom.
Hey, you know, it happens. You know, and sometimes we need stuff like this. Sometimes it's good for the sport to have a brawl here.
Brawl.
But you know,
I mean, we're still talking about malice in the Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that, and I just wanted to comment. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, she had a full-on, what was it, her elbow to her neck?
Is her fist?
Yeah.
Her fist to her neck? Yeah. I mean,
yeah. Caitlin goes down, rolls over on her back, and number 25, she had sort of a fist on her shoulder, and then definitely slid that fist down her shoulder into Caitlin's throat.
Yeah, I mean, maybe instead, you know how like they do jump balls in the NBA, maybe instead of doing jump balls, they just let them, you know, throw a few jabs at each other.
Like hockey.
You want to get some TV ratings. That would catch the TV ratings.
Tom, have you watched a WNBA game this year?
No, I have not.
Okay, I think so. I as a sports radio show host, I'm not going to speak for Diesel. I have not either. So
no. I have not.
I don't even know the season. Like I know it's happening, but I don't know when it starts and when it ends. I mean, that's how much I don't care. And I love basketball, and I love, like Tom, I love South Carolina women's basketball. But Diesel said it a few minutes ago. The WNBA needs more stars outside of just Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I mean, Angel Reese. Hey, I'll say this: if they had prop bets for most missed jump shots, you could get rich pretty quick.
God. Anything else, Tom, before we let you go?
No, go Gamecocks. Clemson still sucks. Y'all have a good weekend.
Ah, you too. That was a little added line.
Yeah.
There. A new tagline. It's usually go Gamecocks. Today it was go Gamecocks. Clemson still sucks, and have a good weekend.
He needs to team up with Leprechaun of Lyman, get a little poem going, right? Expand the repertoire just a little bit.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Tom, hope you have a good weekend too. Appreciate you always toloing from Somerville. We really do appreciate that. Did you say earlier, was it you? I think you were doing your Ingles live reader. Are we getting storms? I know it's supposed to be like epically hot. I'm looking at the weather.
60% chance of rain both tomorrow and Sunday.
You know, next week, Diesel, we're getting 98.
Oh,
98.
no.
Yeah, 97.
I don't like that at all.
Well, you know we're going to have some thunderstorms if that's the case. A little pop-up thunderstorm. So it's going to be a hot one this weekend. And Tom, hope you have a good weekend as well. Tolo, same to you. And appreciate the commentary there about Caitlin Clark, 844-3263. 663. Good stuff there.
When we come back, Cole, I've got a lot of audio to play for you. You got to play that audio once more from the Charlotte Hornets fan. He made it great to watch.
That was funny.
I want to ask you, though, is that the best piece of audio of the day? Because I've got something that especially you as an outdoorsman might really love. That's next.
Oh.
We were walking in.
Cole, you're an outdoorsman. You go hunting. You're out in the woods quite often. What is the scariest animal that you could run into here in South Carolina? Snake, like some sort of rattlesnake or a cottonmouth. You know, you look down and all of a sudden there's this deadly snake in your tree stand.
Yeah,
maybe a coyote.
I was gonna say it depends. So, like, if it's the sound of an animal, coyote wins by a mile. Now, you could run into like a rattlesnake or a bear, and it would be much more different. Like, those would be more dangerous.
Sure.
But there's nothing worse, I'll tell you this, than being in the woods in your tree stand, whatever, right before dark, and hearing those coyotes howl up and kick up. Oh my gosh, boy, you talking? Who makes your hair stand up?
Well,
not a fan.
That sounds scary as hell, because you never know how many of them there are, right?
No.
Bears in South Carolina, though, my understanding is black bears usually do everything they can to keep their distance from people. Hopefully. That's not the case so much with grizzly bears. Have you seen this video of a woman hiking in Montana's Glacier National Park? She is walking down a trail with her dog, like a road, a pretty well-trodden road, with her dog, and a grizzly bear comes up on her.
Oh, no.
And this is terrifying stuff, but it's also really funny how she stays pretty calm and is able to fight off this bear just using her words.
Oh, no.
Here's the audio right here.
No. Go away. Hey.
What's she doing?
She starts growling at the bear.
No.
No.
What is that?
She's
what?
Continues.
Oh.
No. No. Hey. Hey. Stop it. No. 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 Hey. Hey. Stop it. Go away.
She's brave.
Yeah. And her dog doesn't make a sound. She ends up getting away. She gets away from the bear, obviously. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the audio. We wouldn't have the video. She videos the whole thing. Dude, it is crap your pants terrifying.
Oh, a grizzly bear?
Scary
I would
stuff.
I'll say she's a lot braver than I am. Hey, real quick, to interrupt the audio blitz, Fox Carolina's live at Clemson right now. They're showing a lot of shots of the stadium. And the stadium's already like more packed than it was this year when Clemson was losing to Syracuse in the second half.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. You talk about hot. How miserable does that look right now?
It is 87 degrees. It's
okay,
not
could be
that
worse.
bad.
Could be worse.
Not that bad.
Yeah, you're seeing
down there
Clemson's
partying.
finest, right?
Yeah.
Cowgirl boots, and look at the lines. I mean, this
Goodness
is
gracious.
Fox Carolina right now providing live coverage of it on our studios or our TVs here in the studio. But that's why, like, I love country music. I have no desire to go do that right there.
Well,
Stand in
you
those
said you
lines.
learned your lesson the hard way by wearing boots in the heat.
That's
you
true.
don't do that.
Yeah, you don't do it.
Is that piece of audio, which it's harrowing, it's amazing. You should go find the video. Is that better than this guy, the Charlotte Hornets fan?
LaMelo Ball, man. Trading LaMelo Ball from the Hornets. That's like y'all traded Michael Jordan out to Chicago Bulls. Y'all already didn't give us Kobe Bryant. Y'all keep messing up the team chemistry. He was the hottest on the team. He bought us all the ticket sales. He made the most points on the team. It was nobody else better than him.
He made it beautiful.
I swear, he made it great. Right. He made us want to come here. Man, look at my man's on side the building. Look at him. Now they gotta take him off, man. It's crazy. Why would y'all trade LaMelo? Bring back LaMelo, reverse the trade.
Reverse the trade.
Trade.
You made it beautiful to watch.
The guy in the background's the best.
So good. No, he's in the car. That's the funny thing. He's in the car.
No, the woman, as good as she is, she's not better than those two guys. Those two guys are hilarious. I mean, that's
so good.
That's hysterical audio right there. He got him all the ticket sales, which those guys are right. Like, they're right. I'll do you one better. You've heard this. Some of the Tolos out there that just tuned in have not. Those two are great. Is it better than this piece of audio talking about a condiment we always eat?
What do you think you'll take away from your visit here in the United States, back to Germany?
Ranch. I love ranch. I taste it here. It's delicious. And I take 2 bottles with home with me.
What do you think?
Ranch.
That's so good. We would think that, like, our safe streets and other parts of our culture would be what foreigners love. No, it's ranch. Did you see? I think it was an Italian fan who was just blown away that you get free refills, and he drinks like 7 Cokes at his lunch.
How many refills in Italy or wherever he's from?
Yeah, his friend was like, you don't need that much sugar. He goes, yeah, but it's free. And he just chugs another Coke.
Now you know why all Americans are, lead the world in obesity. I just Googled, quick Google search. Do they not have ranch in Germany? And Google AI said ranch dressing basically does not exist in Germany. Wow. It is a very American food. You will not find it on grocery store shelves or in restaurants. Instead of ranch, Germans use herb yogurt sauces, which sounds nasty.
Gross.
Right?
Well, now we know we should quit our jobs and start importing ranch dressing to Germany.
No doubt. Did you hear about those 2 radio guys that quit and now they're selling ranch dressing in Germany? They call it Diesel and Cole's Ranch House, or the Ranch House. How about that?
I love it.
The Ranch House in Germany. How do you say house in German?
House.
That's all you say?
Yeah.
God, I mean, that's no fun. The Ranch House. We make millions in Germany selling ranch.
God, what was that? What was that Jonah Hill movie where he was like he was an arms dealer? We could be that.
I know.
I
have seen that movie.
Yeah,
I have seen.
I forget what it's called. I hadn't seen it in a while.
Ranch House.
Yeah,
I love his accent.
I hear
too.
Dusseldorf is nice this time of year.
I will say, all kidding aside, I am jealous of that guy's accent. I would kill to have that accent.
Yeah, but if you already have that accent, just not here. You don't have it here. You go to England, you go to Germany, you go to Italy.
Yeah.
You flash that voice right there, those pipes, man. Those girls will love you.
But this accent, one more time, I love this accent. Here we go.
What do you think you'll take away from your visit here in the United States, back to Germany?
Ranch. I love ranch. I taste it here. It's delicious. And I take 2 bottles with home with me.
I love ranch. That is the greatest accent ever. They have discovered ranch. What the World Cup does to people. You got to love it, right?
Cole, sticking with World Cup audio. This is phenomenal. Like, it's been easy, I think, for a lot of people, depending on no matter what side of the political aisle you're on, to maybe get a little down about America over the past couple of years, past decade, whatever it may be. I think whoever's in office kind of drives the other side nuts. This might be what Americans need to hear coming from the World Cup. This is a British soccer fan who came to America, has loved his experience so much that he thinks he owes us an apology.
We owe America a huge apology because America is nothing like what the media tells us. Everyone is so friendly. Everyone is so accommodating. And I've honestly had the best time. I fly home Sunday and the English have a song where we say, please don't take me home. I just don't want to go to work. Let me stay here and drink all your beer. And I've never resonated with that song more than in America for this World Cup. I wish I could stay and finish the tournament watching England. So if anyone is out there that can help me make this happen, then please let me know. I want nothing more than to stay in the USA, finish the World Cup, and meet more fantastic Americans.
I love it. Apologies. By the way, can I have some money so that I could stay a little bit longer?
I think I wish, and it'll never happen, I wish every American could hear that audio, because we live in a country where people are just so they're so egotistical, Diesel, and they have no idea how good they have it. And until you go to other countries and hear from people from other countries, you have no idea how good we have it. And if, you said it, it doesn't matter what political side you're on. If somebody who's in office as the acting president makes your life so miserable, you need to go to visit another country. You do. Go visit one, because I can tell you, it doesn't matter who the president is. This is the greatest country. I mean, it is. And there's nothing. Other countries are great. Other countries are nice, but
yeah, we all need to learn to stop hanging our emotions and our self-worth and everything on who the president is.
Yeah.
That's too much. Here is the president of FIFA.
Speaking of president.
Yes. Gianni Infantino talking about how worldwide soccer fans have really braced U.S. culture.
We see an incredible enthusiasm everywhere in every host city. The cities are full. The stadiums are full, sold out 99.6 98% attendance. The fan zones are more than 3 million people in the fan zones already, in the official ones, but the cities are full. We see the Norwegians, the Brazilians, the Argentinians are everywhere. The fans, the Scots, they were in Boston, now they are in Miami. I mean, it's fantastic. The atmosphere is great. People are coming and they want to come to America.
Somewhere there's a soccer fan.
to America.
Somewhere there's a soccer fan screaming corrupt at him, because I've heard soccer fans talk about Infantino. They're not fans.
No,
They're
that
not
was.
fans
I
of
love
his.
that audio though.
It is great.
Do. We just need Neil Diamond behind it. Like, put Neil Diamond behind that, and we will be good to go. I mean, that's perfect for Neil Diamond.
You know, I said this last week. I think the U.S. should make a case, Cole, to host the World Cup every 16 years.
Oh,
every
at
fourth
least.
World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise it's getting greedy, right? I mean,
That's what we are.
Yeah,
We're greedy. God.
But still, I mean, like I said, we have the infrastructure, we have all the stadiums, we have the ability to spread this thing out. We could host it all just in the United States if we wanted to,
Sure.
but we you know, for whatever reason,
We'll let Canada have a
Canada
couple
had some
of
games,
them.
Mexico had some games. We could do it all here in the U.S. It would be phenomenal. We could pull it off, and I think we need this, right? I think we need this every generation, to have fans from all over the world come here and say, you know what, America, you got it pretty great.
Oh, I love it. And this is from somebody who is not a soccer fan whatsoever. I mean, I am not a soccer fan, but just hearing the stories and the audio, I mean, it's the coolest thing. It really is. I mean, I hadn't, you know, the last time we had one, I don't know when it was, but
36 years ago, I think.
See, I wasn't even alive. So, I mean, you know, I mean, it's amazing. It's awesome, regardless if you like the sport of soccer or not. I mean, it's just, I would love to see what these airlines are making right now. Good God.
Yeah, that's true. Last piece of audio here for you, Cole. This is Dana White. He was asked, I think he was on with, what's her name? Tommy Lauren, I think is her name. Some sort of political commentary. I think she also was working in the White House at one point. I'm not sure. Either way, she asked him, hey, Dana White, why don't you do Pride nights, or why don't you do Pride events within UFC?
She asked Dana White that?
She did ask Dana White that. His answer is amazing. But, I mean, think about it. Major League Baseball did it. They had this big kerfuffle a couple weeks ago with players writing Bible verses on their hats. They had to say, hey, guys, you can't do that on Pride night. But here was Dana White's response to that question.
Why doesn't the UFC have Pride nights?
I'm assuming we have some gay fighters. I don't know how many of them are openly. I know that we have gay female fighters. I don't give a I don't care what you are, who you are, what you do. You know, that's just we don't talk about that or any of that stuff. We have a T-shirt that says "We are all fighters" and it's got like the gay flag colors on it. But I don't know, just not everybody do your own thing, and I'm just not into it. Listen, you think I'm happy about what Josh Hoke said? You know, the night that I'm trying to unify the country and you know, and he goes out and says something absolutely stupid like he did that night. But I am a believer of free speech too. So I don't know. I let everybody be themselves, do their thing, and you know, there's a lot of things that some of my guys say that I don't love,
and that's the way it should be.
And I was going to say that I kind of side with him on that. Like,
yeah,
you know, people are going to be whatever they want to be, but like certain leagues feel that they have to have these kind of months and nights and all this stuff and whatever. But I appreciate Dana that he says, hey, look, it's not for he can do what he wants. Sure. You know, it's his league pretty much. So he says, hey, it's not for me. That doesn't mean I'm, you know, against you doing you. And I think that's another thing. People don't, you know, people get offended by that, but it's not that he doesn't want you to do that. He's just not wanting to promote it. So I have no issue with it.
You know, I get the feeling like a lot of leagues, when they do these nights, they do it to make sure that they check a box so that this political activist group doesn't come after us. Hey, look see, we're allies. We're doing this over here. Don't come after us. And to me, a lot of the times it feels patronizing. Like I just saw earlier in this World Cup, they made a big deal out of the fact that this was the first all-female officiating crew in a men's World Cup game. Like, so what? So what? Are you good officials or are you not? I don't care if it's the first all-female officiating crew. To me, it doesn't change.
That's right.
Like I never try to look at the officials. I wouldn't care.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think the problem with these months where we're having to assign all these things to the Pride Month, whatever. Again, my opinion here, it's our society that we live in, our culture. 20 years ago, we weren't doing this because we weren't in the same spot culture-wise, society-wise. The Braves were still the Braves, and then I know they're still the Braves. The Indians were still the Indians, and the Redskins were still the Redskins. And this was before we had to make this major shift to accommodate everybody. And I'm not saying right's, wrong's wrong. So I'm not saying that we should just ignore what's wrong by any stretch of the imagination. But 20 years ago, we weren't having these conversations. We just weren't. We are just in a different society now where it's an interesting time to be alive. By the way, the Texas Rangers were the only MLB organization that did not do the Pride Month. They were the only one. Doesn't surprise you being in Texas, but they were the only one that did not.
Have all the groups come after him? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I've got one more piece from the Fever head coach going back to the Caitlin Clark issue. Here's Stephanie White.
We have a generational talent and a WNBA superstar who had 2 cheap shots right there that weren't called. And I just say again, absolutely unacceptable.
Steph, do you think that the league needs to look into how Caitlin Clark is defended or how she's officiated going forward?
I mean, we spent all off season looking at officiating. All off season. And I still say the one thing that we keep asking for is consistency. She is not called the same way everybody else is called. We have a generational talent and a WNBA superstar who had 2 cheap shots right there that weren't called. And I just say again, absolutely unacceptable.
Absolutely unacceptable, says Stephanie White, the head coach, after the latest controversy on Caitlin Clark and the WNBA. Like Tom said, we're talking about the WNBA, but we're not talking about it for the purpose of basketball. It's for other reasons. Imagine that.
What's the league response been after these very loud, very public comments?
Only thing I know is they made it a foul, upgraded it to a flagrant 2, and then they did. I think it was a 1-game suspension. I think past that, I'm not exactly sure, but I know there was a suspension given out. It'll be interesting to see if they do anything else, though. Diesel, in the very next segment, we close out the hour. One last chance for you, Tolos, to get in on the conversation at 844-326-3663. If you haven't had a chance to, maybe you've been working all day, one more chance in hour number 3. That's next.
Unfiltered Sportsing. That's 844-FAN-PHONE. This is Wire to Wire with Cole, Bryson, and Diesel on the Fan Upstate.
Well, shame on you, Diesel, for thinking that the Brendan Sorsby story was over. What was that, Tuesday, Wednesday we were talking about it? Another door. Today's Friday, by the way, the 26th of June. Another door has closed for Brendan Sorsby's immediate football future. How many doors are left that can be closed, right? As the CFL, and I think you jokingly brought this up on the show the other day.
I wasn't joking. I was serious.
You were serious about it. Go to this go to Canada and play, right? Well, no, he can't. The quarterback will not allow to be play. He will not allow to play in the CFL. CFL came out and said, upholding the integrity of the league and ensuring fair competition are paramount to the CFL. The allegations involving Brendan Sorsby are serious and concerning. So, Diesel, another door closes. At this time, the CFL will not register a contract for him. No team will be permitted to add him to its negotiation list.
Oh, at this rate, Cole, he won't be able to get a job at a Foot Locker.
I mean, you might Hibbett Sports or,
Arena.
What do they do? What other sporting goods stores are? Is Dick's still in is Did
Still
Dick's
there,
close
yeah.
down? No, they're still in business. Academy. Really, he might be applying anywhere at this point just to get in sports podcasting. I said Barstool, like if he wanted to just quit and go work at Barstool, he could and never do football again. But Sorsby had not publicly expressed interest in playing in Canada, but his options are now limited after the NFL said no thanks.
I love how they're proactively saying, sorry, bro, don't even try.
Before he even called him.
Don't even bother.
That's like you going or thinking about maybe applying for a job, and the employer calls you and say, hey, don't even think about it. We're good.
Yeah.
Don't apply here. Hopefully you've never been in that situation in your life, and hopefully you never will be. But no, that's pretty bad to not have expressed interest. Sorsby's attorney, Jeffrey Kessler, had told ESPN that the NFL's decision not to hold a supplemental draft was a CBA violation, as we know, and that they would pursue possible action with the NFLPA. So I guess the absolute latest is they're figuring out how to pursue the public action with the NFLPA.
So the plan was, we're going to hit up an organization that my client is not even a member of and hope that they will come to his defense.
Yeah. Good
luck with that.
Pretty much.
Good luck with that.
I think I asked this question earlier in the week when we were talking about Brendan Sorsby in the NFL. It's June 26th. Let's say, for example, like the week ends today. We're done. We're back Monday. If we don't bring up Brendan Sorsby again this year, when is the next time on the show? What is the month? Will it be April? Because the draft's in April. Because you think about it, in a month from now, we're full focused on college football, pro, high school. I mean, like, it's just around the corner.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Brandon Sorsby. I don't know if Brandon Sorsby's name will even be set on the airwaves. It might be late March before we say his name again.
I hope that's the case. I mean, I hope that you and I are so dazzled by the other quarterbacks that are going to be draft eligible that we just forget that Brandon Sorsby is a person. But you know for a fact, Cole, that every list is going to add him to it. Everybody's going to compare his 2024 numbers. His 2025 numbers, excuse me. They're going to be putting him on the mock drafts. They're going to be putting him on the big boards. Mel Kiper is going to be asked about him. All kinds of quarterback needy teams are going to be asked, hey, would you be interested in Brandon Sorsby? Like, his name is going to keep coming up.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be the case. I want him to get himself the help that he needs.
Get help.
And I want him to do the right things to get back into a spot where we're not talking about him as the gambler. We're talking about him as the player.
The NFL Combine, I didn't realize it was this early, but I guess I just wasn't thinking. February 23rd.
It's that early?
Yeah, that's when we do our 40-yard dash every year in the parking lot. Out in February. I thought it was warmer than
I don't
that.
remember doing the 40-yard dash in a parka.
No, I think it's been warm the past couple of times we've done it. So maybe a warm February.
We'll start
day.
training now, by the way.
Yeah. So maybe February 23rd-ish, around that time. It's in Indiana this year, in Indianapolis, Lucas Oil. Or it's every year. What am I thinking? But that's when the Combine is. So maybe around that time when the NFL season's over is when we start kind of focusing toward mock drafts. And, By By the way,
if you're the commissioner of the Arena Football League, I'd be putting out a statement too.
Yeah, no,
Whatever you can do to get attention on your league, right? Even if
Yeah.
it's for 5 minutes.
Yeah. WNBA should do it. WNBA should put out a statement saying we're not interested in
Can't
bringing
come
this
to
order.
the WNBA either.
How funny would that be? I mean, that would be pretty funny. By the way, Tolos, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Whenever you get your itch, for like football, whenever it hits you. Today, Diesel, when Lonzo sent out the August producer schedule, and we're talking about Furman and high school football, it hit me today. I was like, oh my gosh, it's really, really close. And now I'm starting to get really, my itch is here. So I'm really I'll be intolerable for the next few weeks. You and I have ACC kickoff in 2 or 3 weeks from now, right?
Is it that soon?
Yeah, July 15th.
Creeps up on you fast.
July 15th. So next week, it'll be 3 weeks from next week, and then we're off Friday, a week from today, programming note, because of Independence Day, observed, I guess, by our company on the 3rd.
Love
so,
it.
Oh, no, don't love it. We'll get told that we should be here.
Dewey's going to yell at us.
And cocky for a reason. I always missing work, but it is what it is.
When we come back, Cole, it is time to jump back into a conversation we had earlier in the show. Major League Baseball could be in danger. Another lockout on the way. We'll talk about it next.